Yo, the kind, my main file with you, so now, Minchia or Tiafo, and I'm sense to say, Papa, my share, and I say, Penchi, Chimo, or a Enra, a posua, may ye fa minia, a Kwame Asare, or Ben, and whom Naya, Niposua, and I send a pet.
Ɛfahoada bɛnti sinupi na nokorɛ ɛyɛ baako pɛ.
You are all welcome. Honourable members, as the tradition demands, we shall proceed to call on the clerk to have the Chief Justice sworn in.
Ɛfahoada bɛn.
98.9 FM, Epahua da Ben Jumedi ini. Check with your time, 15 minutes after the hour 2. Yemobi biara aha, emobi biara akwaba. Eba ye Jumedi, so midine Bismarck Brown. We are uti enka, be pesa wotena he yes and say, and komo kese bi koso wa mrahye bedwafie, emra mene wo kase. The vetting of the Kaseɛbɔ Justice Bafoboni, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, apao no say ono ena wonkoye Omayi Chief Justice APM before the Appointments Committee of Parliament. And don't forget, say sa committee ewo history pa ye nyina ye be kaisa ne say a recent history. Emra Mampeni John Mahama, if you assess or power the appointees and kankane ministers and the deputies. Omunyina appeared before this appointments committee. We saw the drama, we saw the theatricals, and yes, the politics, and of course, yehunu violence and so pa. And a Justice Bafoboni akopie before the appointments committee, and for well over 1 hour, in fact 2 hours in here, the minority leader and the majority leader have been haggling over preliminary commenter. Was a minority leader no issues ni nyina ne say for the majority leader comments are minority leader no ansa na vetting ahyase no ye niema ensese piemu committee n'animu and was citing a number of rules are a govern committee sittings ne parliamentary sittings are osusu say minority leader no reference to a quiet justice talk on ye ni free the Dibia as Chief Justice. Processes are the justice talk on faso. Any a quiet ye first swap out justice Bafuboni. Ozuzu se entweye and famra kwemu a politics. Na ye ma mini free office ewo quiet etia ne fa hudi so. Comments we ena minority leader in his preliminary submissions and sample and avert and here. Now, what we have seen in the last 2 hours in say okasa semi bia na majority leader bem na wabe raise your objection. Na ono so responded. Your man of kwan so on to us or kind speech na okobo sa asem no so kwan ye justice talk onu na majority leader bem no raise your objection. Enti minority leader the speech no so far ontimi nkan wiye o kan na se majority leader na se etia rules na wato etia mu na yaye hu debate atwe ho darea na yasan ato aso, and that is where we are. Vetting ankasan hyase the nominee Justice Bafoboni eteho akase the two leaders ebeye nyombeye bewie ansa na vetting na hyase. I will take you back to Parliament. Na call the Appointments Committee. One settings no. Na yakwa kwetie ne ekoso ewo committee nanimu with regards to the vetting of Justice Bafoboni nominated to the high office of the Chief of Staff. Chief Justice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Anthony Mie, Member of Parliament for Odotobri in the Ashanti region. I also serve as the Vice Chairman for the Committee on Judiciary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Kwame Enyimedwentwi, Member of Parliament for Santiachem Central and the ranking member for Constitution.
Happy FM 98.9.
Joseph Rimpong, MP Nkoko, Chairman of the Judicial Committee. Thank you.
Kwame Apiakodua, Member of Parliament for Mfantiakwa North in the Eastern Region. Subject member. Petitions. Petitions and judiciary, sir. I'm here as a subject matter member. Thank you.
Petitions Committee.
Petitions, and I'm a member of the Petitions and Judiciary, but I'm here in the name of the judiciary.
The rules are clear in Standing Order 1217. Strictly subject matter committee.
I'm here on the ticket of the
And
judiciary,
then leadership of the subject matter committee. So you are either a chairman, vice chairman, ranking, or deputy ranking of the committee. Honourable members, let me use the opportunity to clarify Standing Order 217. We do not want any confusion. If you know you are not a ranking member, deputy ranking, chairman, and vice chairman of the subject matter committee, please perpetually remain silent.
Thank you very much. Patrick Boamo, Kankwe Central, member of the committee.
Jerry Ahmed Shaib, MP for Wejagbawe, leadership.
Alhaji Habib Idrisu, Member of Parliament for Tolong, First Deputy Minority Whip, Member of the committee.
Happy FM 98.9.
Yes, now on my right.
Thank you very much, Chair. My name is Bede Anwatazmo Zeden. I am the MP for Laura and ranking for Judiciary, subject matter representative.
Al Hassan Umar, MP for Zabzugu in the Northern Region, a member of the Appointment Committee.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Shaibu Mahama, MP for Daboya Mankargo, Chairman for Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, and a member of the committee.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you
for leadership. Thank you.
Ladi Ayayamba is my name, MP for Pusiga, ranking for Chieftaincy and Culture, and a member of the Appointments Committee.
Chairman, thank you. CJ nominee, you're welcome. My name is Roxanne Nelson Dapamako, MP for the good people of South Dine, member.
My name is Mahama Ayariga, Member of Parliament, Boku Central Constituency. Leadership.
Thank you. My name is Kweku Ricketts Hagen, Member of Parliament for Cape Coast South and the Vice Chairman of the committee. That's the Appointment Committee. Thank you.
Afenyo Makin, MP for Futu and ranking for the committee.
Bernard Ahiafo, Chairman of the Appointment Committee. People also call me the Kingmaker. So, Honourable members, commencement. Yes, I see you pulling the microphone. Do you have an issue?
Chairman, with respect, thank you for the opportunity, and I shall proceed with my opening remarks, which remarks I make for and on behalf of the minority caucus of this committee.
Honorable Minority Leader and the ranking member of the committee, I shall accord you every respect and the time to raise your issue. My only hope and prayer is that whatever issue that we are going to raise must be raised within the rules that governs this committee as well as the entire parliament. The floor is now yours.
Chairman, thank you very much. I shall proceed my remarks with a quote from Shakespeare's Macbeth, Act 1, Scene 7. First, as I'm his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, and as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door and not bear the knife myself? Besides, this Duncan has borne his faculties so meek, has been so clear in his great office, and his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked newborn baby, striding the blasts of heaven's cherubim, housed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye. Tears shall drown the wind. I have no spare to prick the size of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which overleaps itself and falls on the other. Chairman, this morning, on behalf of the caucus, we hear with a heavy heart, but an unshakable resolve to defend the Constitution of Ghana, protect judicial independence, and uphold the rule of law. We gather to vet a disputed nominee for office of Chief Justice of Ghana. This should be a moment of national pride and institutional renewal. Instead, it has become a test of whether Ghana's judiciary will remain independent or fall under executive and political control.
Honorable Minority Leader. Honorable Minority Leader, just hold it a second. Yes, Honorable Ayariga.
Mr. Chairman, we are here because our rules say we should be here. And the same rules indicate exactly what we can do or not do when we gather here. Order 122. And 1, 2, 3. I want you to focus on those two orders. 1, 2, 3 talks about content of speeches, whereas 1, 2, 2 provides the grounds on which debate can be interrupted. So I come under order 1, 2, 2. But my objection is founded on content of speeches. I've heard the ranking member of the committee refer to, I believe, the nominee as a disputed nominee to the post of Chief Justice. 1, 2, 3 says,
Happy FM 98.9.
a member shall not raise any question. 1, 2, 3, 5. A member shall not raise any specific question upon which the House has come to a conclusion during the current session, except on a substantive motion for rescission. I recall that just a couple of days ago, I think Thursday, the same member brought a motion to the House trying to stop this committee from sitting to vet the nominee. The matter was exhaustively debated, and you, Mr. Speaker, gave a ruling. Subsequently, the Speaker himself, because you sat as a Deputy Speaker, the Speaker himself came and recounted the motion and also gave a ruling. So this issue about the propriety or otherwise of whatever happened has been raised on the floor, debated extensively, and a ruling given. Apart from that, Order 1237 says that the conduct of the Speaker, the Chief Justice, members and justices of the Superior Court of Judicature shall not be raised in Parliament except upon a substantive motion. You cannot raise anything about the conduct of a member of the Superior Court of Judicature of this country in Parliament except by a substantive motion.
98.9.
No substantive motion is before us, and so the ranking member has no right, no lawful authority to raise anything about what happened in court, the processes leading to a removal of anybody, and the nomination of anybody. You have no right, pursuant to our rules, to raise those issues. So be guided, because if you raise them, I'm going to object. So I am objecting to the use of the term disputed nominee, because there's no dispute before us regarding the nomination.
Yes, Honorable Habib, there is an issue raised.
Yes, that's what
And I must give the floor first to the person who raised the issue in relation to which objection is being taken to respond. Yes, Honorable Minority Leader and the ranking member of the committee. This is the issue raised to part of the submission that we have started raising. What is your response to it?
Chairman, first of all, the majority leader is clearly acting in bad faith, seeking to obstruct the rather peaceful processes we have started, and as it were, try to use his numbers to intimidate. Let me ask, the rule he relied on has to do with debate on the floor of the House. There are dark clouds indeed in this country where freedom of speech by mere operation of a supermajority, you cannot even as a member of parliament make your comment. I am not moving a motion. I am not debating. Please, Chairman, the rule he relied upon. You see, this situation where people move from here and there to create confusion and create their own jurisprudence must come to an end, with respect. Interruption of debate. That is, if you go to page 70 or the 122, the title there, the subtitle, Interruption of Debate. Debate may be interrupted by a point of order. And then he says that I am debating. Who is debating here? Mr. Chairman, if the majority leader has anything to say in opposition to my opening remarks, he has a right bona fide as a leader of government business and as a leader of the House to also state his submission. I have seen him with his written submission, be it for his opening remarks, or see that to you as a chair of the committee, to read it for Hansard. But this process where, as it were, try to use it to deny you, don't say this. So every line that I read, he will censor it and say, you use this word. Mr. Chairman, we are not going to make any progress with that. Again, the 1, 2, 3 that he relies upon. He says that the conduct of the Speaker, the Chief Justice, members, and Justice of the Superior Court of Judicature shall not be raised in Parliament except upon a substantive motion. With the greatest respect. Have I raised any issue that is situated within the context of 123.7 to warrant this so-called objection? Chairman.
Honorable members, can we have some order?
Chairman.
Honorable members, can we have some order and listen to the minority leader in silence?
Chairman, we are here to discharge a civic duty and responsibility. We are political actors who have our political views on matters of national interest. The matters giving rise to the nomination is purely political, and every Ghanaian adult knows this. Your side raised it as a political issue during the campaign. You are going to remove Justice Tokonu as Chief Justice, and that has happened. If in my statement I contextualize to say that disputed nominee, it is our view we hold as a minority caucus. We have to express it. And that is why I added by saying that this should be a moment of national pride and institutional renewal. Instead, it has become a test of whether Ghana's judiciary will remain independent or fall under executive and political control. Can't I have these bona fides also that have to be obstructed by the majority leader when you have every unfettered right to raise your issues? Chairman, humbly, please control proceedings. Please take charge. Let our respected leader of government business understand that after speaking, after making my comment known on behalf of the minority, he can seek your leave to also make his opening remarks. By the way, by way of conclusion, this is not the first time a leader in the minority is having this opportunity to make opening remarks. It predates me from J.H. Mensah's era, he and J.H. Owusu Achampong, all the way to Alban Bagbin, MP for Naudole Kalio, and minority leader as he then was. The videos are there. Hansard is there. Honorable Bagbin had unfettered opportunity to make his political statement on behalf of the minority, and they were not stopped on point of order. It got to Chairman Sabonsu, it got to Harun Edrusu, And recently, my own respected colleague, Dr. Kaseɛbɔ. The records are there. Let's not create a certain impression as if all it is you are majority, so we cannot even say a word. We must have our rights. These are our rights. We will state them, and you would also have the opportunity to state them for the record. Please, let us have some more
Honorable
decency.
Minority Leader, your point is made. Yes, you have listened to the response.
Right, Honorable.
Honorable members, it's not every issue that will necessarily call for the chair making a ruling. But honorable members are indicated as a preliminary issue that let us all operate within the rules. Honorable members, may I add that we need to also observe the principle of brevity. Yes, what do you have to say?
Chairman, if you read rule 1233, where in the opinion of the speaker, the words of a member used in a speech, and it doesn't matter whether the speech is at plenary or at committee, a speech is a speech in Parliament. So where in the opinion of the speaker, the words of a member used in a speech are offensive, abusive, insulting, blasphemous, or unbecoming, impute improper motives, or impugns the integrity of a member or any other person. The speaker may order that the member withdraws those words or withdraw and apologize. Mr. Speaker, when we came into this chamber, this committee meeting room, and you started, you referred to the nominee as Chief Justice. When you referred to the nominee as Chief Justice, the minority objected to the reference to the nominee as Chief Justice and said that he is not a Chief Justice, he is a nominee to the post of Chief Justice, and so you must refer to him appropriately. Or acting Chief Justice, because he's also an acting Chief Justice. And an acting Chief Justice is a Chief Justice. Now, he has referred to the nominee as a disputed nominee. Disputed nominee. Disputed nominee. You are in court what? Are you in court litigating his nomination? No. Are you in court disputing his nomination? You are not in court challenging his nomination. So to the extent that you are not in court challenging his nomination, there is no dispute about his nomination. If there is a dispute about some other action. So you have no right to look him in the face here before this committee and refer to him as a disputed nominee and expect me to sit here and not respond. So, Mr. Chairman, pursuant to our own rules, he has to withdraw and apologize to him for referring to him as a disputed nominee when he is not a disputed nominee.
Chairman, let me.
Honourable members.
Chairman, he has had two opportunities to make a point. Let me respond to
Honourable members, Honourable Minority Leader, listen to what I will have to say.
Okay.
Please proceed and raise your issue. Avoid the use of disputed Chief Justice. Once I do not have a right to refer to him as a Chief Justice, but Chief Justice nominee, let us all observe that
Happy FM
and
98.9.
refer to him as such.
Let me be unequivocally clear. The minority in Parliament objects to and unequivocally condemns the coordinated subjudicate Ghana's judiciary to political domination. Chairman, the facts speak for themselves.
I object again.
On the 22nd April,
I object again, Chairman.
On 22nd of April,
I object again.
2025.
Chairman, I object again. I object.
Honorable members, I think at this particular point, I must place on record that I have admonished that we should all operate within the ambit of the law. Honorable Minority Leader, be guided by Order 103D, and then let's make progress. And Order 103D, if I may read, to serve as a guide to all of us. It states that a motion shall relate to a definite issue and not revive the consideration of a matter which had been considered in the same meeting unless new matters have arisen. Honourable members, by necessary implication, whether a motion or not,
Happy FM
the principles
98.9.
of res judicata will not permit us that a matter that has been raised on the floor resolve to its finality would be permitted to be raised at a committee meeting. So on to sub judice rules and let's make progress with all due respect. Because Speaker has dealt with this matter, I have also personally dealt partly with this particular matter, with all due respect.
Chairman, the facts speak for themselves. On April 22nd, 2025, Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Tokonu was suspended as a result of a prima facie determination by the Council of State as contained in the public announcement made by the executive. We, the minority, hold the view that the subsequent committee that was set up under the chairmanship of His Lordship, Gabriel Scott Poama, to trial the Chief Justice amounted to a travesty of justice.
Chairman.
The removal
our rules are clearly offended.
in the language
Our rules are
of
clearly
judicial
offended.
accountability.
Because the rules I just read clearly offend that.
But
the rules clearly are
Happy
offended.
FM
Chairman, the rules say
98.9.
that
for leave for extension of time was rather unacceptable after the long delay in filing an opposition.
Chairman, please. Chairman, this has to be withdrawn.
Chairman,
Please, we heard what he said. You can't sit here and malign a decision of a court. It's not acceptable. Please, don't let us keep doing this, and then send the impression out there we are bad people, we are minority trying to prevent you from. The rules are clear. You've been told the rules severally. Please.
Chairman, I'm sorry. I think that Chairman, we have to help you. With respect, we have to help you. My leader speaks at will. He speaks at will. We all know the practice in this house. Leader, you have to catch the eye of the speaker. You have to respect the chair. This attitude of suddenly punching the microphone and speaking, you are our leader, but you are a member of parliament. You are subject to the same rules as apply to all of us. So, Mr. Chair, I think you should have a word with our leader.
Thank you very much.
Your consent.
Honorable Minority Leader, be guided and candidly land safely.
Yes, Honorable Ayarga.
So I raise an objection to his reference to
Happy FM 98.9.
conduct of a judge. And the rules are very clear. I really don't understand why the minority leader wants me to keep reciting the rules, because everybody knows that the rules are clear. You can't say that about a decision of a court. You can't say that. So he has to expunge that.
Honorable Majority Leader, I have heard you. Honorable Minority Leader, be guided accordingly and proceed.
Chairman, with respect, what we are saying is that we disagree with the said decision of the court. And it's our right to have a disagreement with the court, most respectfully. Especially so when we are of the view.
You see, Honorable Minority Leader,
Chairman,
you can disagree with all due respect with the decision of the court. And when you disagree with the decision of the court, you know how to do.
That's not a problem. But we are making a comment, Chairman. Chairman, I've held my calm throughout all of this. I gave you my word, proud to this verdict, and I've kept my word. Today in Ghana, you cannot even speak as a parliamentarian to express a view. You will be stopped by the majority leader. I am not attacking the court. I'm saying that the minority disagrees because we have the rules book, the CI 16. When you apply for extension of time, there's a time period. You can't go beyond 2 weeks. We have
Happy FM 98.9.
We cannot cite the court on ruling and say on this we disagree. What is happening here? Because somebody has super majority? What is happening in
Honorable
this country?
Minority Leader,
What
I will not
have
have
we
a
done wrong?
problem. I will not have a problem.
I have not attacked
If
any judge. We've
this
not
is
attacked the
by
court.
way of a question that will give an opportunity
fair.
for a response. You are making a preliminary comment.
Exactly, that's exactly what it
So
means. That's
let's
exactly what
stick
it's
to
been
the
done.
rules,
I don't
and
have
then
a
you
problem.
make your preliminary comment
Right.
as such.
Very well. Chairman, thank you. So we expect that steps be taken by the court to expeditiously hear the cases brought before it by the respected, learned Justice of the Supreme Court, who until removed was the Chief Justice, Her Ladyship Gertrude Araba Isaba Tokoni. Expeditious hearing of this matter and a final determination of this matter will reassure the Ghanaian public that the rule of law works, that we respect the Constitution. Chairman, we submit further that all the delays in the filing of defense in the matter is a strategy. A strategy to ensure that these cases languish undefended, creating space for this rash confirmation to proceed unchallenged. Why?
To be off. Yes, Honorable Ayarga, let me hear you.
Why?
Chairman. Chairman. I know.
Happy FM 98.9.
Then the minority leader will say that we are politicians and we should be allowed to do politics. Yes, we are politicians and we should be allowed to do politics. But when we sit here, our politics should be guided by rules. The rules are very clear, Chairman. The rules say that where in the opinion of the Speaker, the words of a member used in a speech are offensive, abusive, insulting, blasphemous, or unbecoming, impute improper motives. Impute improper motives. I repeat again, impute improper motives or impugns the integrity of a member or any other person. The Speaker may order that the member withdraws those words or withdraw and apologize. The Attorney General is a constitutional office created in our Constitution. And he is a member of this House. In the discharge of his functions, you have no right to come and sit here and impute improper motives. Our rules are clear. What you are saying, you are imputing improper motives. Saying that all of it is a charade and then a strategy and etc. to subvert justice. No. Mr. Speaker, how can he say that? I object and I insist that that part of his statement should be expunged. And the rules are very clear. That any reference to the conduct of persons mentioned in Rule 7 in any amendment, question, or remarks in a motion or on a debate dealing with any other subject is out of order. And then you, the Speaker, or the 123, Rule 3 says...
Happy FM 98.9.
Indeed, he has impugned improper motives. We should order him to have it expunged from the records. And I'm saying that he has impugned, imputed improper motives, and therefore he should expunge that from the records.
Yes, Honorable Minority Leader. Mr. Chair, Honorable Minority Leader,
I'm a member.
Please put off your microphone. Please put off your microphone. Yes, Honorable Minority Leader, you have the floor.
Mr. Chairman, some of my, yes, sure. I'm saying that my colleague has a point to make. Since a point of order has been raised, I think that it is within every member's right to respond, not limited to only me.
Well, Minority Leader, with all due respect, we are a house governed by rules.
Sure, but
I can be guided by the rules that enable the Speaker or the person presiding to take a point of order against a point of order or a response to a point of order from any other person apart from the person who raised the issue. So the rules are applied. That is why I asked the honorable member to put his microphone off, and then I'm giving you the floor to respond to the issue of the point of order raised. On the response to the point of order being raised, yes, Honorable Nyimedule.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I have been quiet since morning, and I think that we must be serious as a committee. Mr. Speaker, I should think that some members of this committee have a preconceived mind.
Happy FM 98.9.
Every letter that is said, and we cannot continue like that. You being the chairman, Mr. Chairman, I pray after the break, Mr. Chair, you have to steer the affairs of this committee. Now, the majority leader, please, I have the floor. The majority leader is not about, but if you are quoting the standing orders, that people are imputing improper motives, you must go to the extent of proving to us that this word is an improper motive. You just don't say it. Now, even the law that you have cited, it's on a member of this House. Every committee meeting, people, we start, the chair, the ranking, we come out with preliminary issues before we start the agenda of the meeting. Now, if you raise the question about what I heard other people say that, well, there had been issues, nobody has the right to raise a preliminary issue when the chairman already ruled that he should speak. This is part of us. And if every word is going to be objected to, then I don't think that we are ready for the vetting. Now, we have been here all day. The nominee had not even spoken a word. This objection, that objection, and
Honorable
and yet we are
Kwame
getting nowhere.
Aimedu entry. You raised a point, but I feel you are out of order. It's not in response to the issue on the floor. So, Honorable Minority Leader.
In response? Chairman, thank you. Oh, very well. Chairman, there nowhere in my submission
Happy FM 98.9.
or was there an inference to such an act? Chairman, you must let the majority leader know that he is the majority leader. When you raise your objections and everybody is quiet, and you are so intolerant that you want to find a way to create chaos, I won't give you that. No, Chair, he was just talking. No, but you are closer to him, Chairman. We've all kept our calm. He is showing power, force. I am this, I am that. It's not fair. What he's doing is not fair. It's not fair.
Chairman, what the rankings do is not right. You were given 5 minutes. We spent 15 minutes.
You have the floor. Honorable Dafamako. Honorable Dafamako, you don't have the floor. Honorable Roxanne Nelson Dafamako, you do not have the floor. You don't have the floor. Please, Minority Leader.
So, Mr. Chair, we've been very calm, quiet, decent. We want to discharge our parliamentary duties, yet the attacks are becoming one too many. Now, let me respond to him. I stated the fact that cases were filed as far back as May. It was only recently that the AG filed a motion for extension of time to file a defense and sought the leave of the court for that. It is a matter in the public domain that long
Happy FM 98.9.
time required to file a defense in that important constitutional matter had lapsed. The AG had not filed. The court itself had not issued a hearing notice to compel the AG to come to court until the AG requested, applied to the court for leave to file out of time. It is a statement of fact. We are not saying anything apart from what is in the public domain. So, Mr. Chairman, the majority leader must be restrained. All the confusion is being caused by him. All the confusion, I have my speech before me. I can read it again. You see?
Honorable
Chairman.
Leader,
Chairman.
with all due respect, can you conclude? If I will have to rule on the objection raised, this is what I will say. We have a constitutional mandate to vet the Chief Justice nominee. The issue before the courts, whether a defense has been filed, leave has been sought, defense has not been filed, is a matter entirely in the domain of the courts. And this cannot be a subject matter of discussion at the vetting committee. Consequently, everything said about defense or relating to that is ordered to be expunged from the record. Minority Leader, please proceed.
Chairman with respect. Chairman with respect.
Happy FM 98.9.
Chairman with respect. Justice. And I say so because everything that is happening here appears to have been well rehearsed by the majority leader with a view.
You see, Honorable Leader,
Chairman,
you have been a majority leader
Chairman,
before.
Chairman.
Becoming a minority leader, there is nothing that is well reserved.
Chairman, this approach where you come, force you, speak, put on a mic, then you say it is expunged. What exactly, what particular word are we expunging?
I think you heard my ruling very
Chairman.
loud and clear. If you disagree with it, you know what to do.
Very
Will you
well.
proceed?
Don't worry. We are all aware of what this whole thing is leading to. So no problem. Chairman, we the minority hold a view that Article 1271 gives the Chief Justice authority to ensure effective administration of justice. Article 1272 requires all state organs to assist the courts. Yet, in the instant situation, there are no visible steps to compare.
Happy FM 98.9.
We have not yet heard of any hearing for all cases challenging the legitimacy of the process leading to the removal of Her Ladyship Justice Araba Isaba Tokoni. We believe that the acting Chief Justice wields the administrative power on this matter, and just as the injunction applications were held expeditiously, same could have applied in this instance. Chairman, it is regrettable that our motion that was intended to have dealt upon this matter did not see the light of day. We hold a view that the judiciary is not the executive's enforcement arm. It is neither parliament's ally in political projects. It is a guardian of our constitution, the protector of our rights, the final arbiter of all our laws. Its independence is sacrosanct. Its integrity is non-negotiable. It is the oracle of justice emanating from the people of Ghana. Chairman, for all the reasons given, including the very actions of the majority leader, basically denying us every opportunity of expressing our opinion on an important national discourse. Be it known to you, Chairman, and
Happy FM 98.9.
that we, the minority caucus, hereby vote en bloc to reject their nominee. We would want to state on record that the majority can proceed with the questions. We do not intend to proceed with any question. We are, however, registering in the strongest terms that we reject the nomination, and the records should reflect that the report of this committee be a majority report. Honorable colleague, when we show you respect, reciprocate. So far, we have extended to you every courtesy. We've heard all those unpalatable words. We've heard the abuse. So please, for posterity's sake, listen to us. We don't need to vet a nominee before we vote against the nominee. We have preliminary issues well grounded in law. You may disagree with us. And we say that on the basis of that, we cannot be part of a process that would give right to another and deny another of her bona fide.
Happy FM 98.9.
Chairman, that's it. We would yield to you to proceed whilst we exit this committee room with our views well documented for the records, and on the floor we shall proceed with the debate, further stating our position and take a vote against the nominee as required by the rules of the plenary. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Minority Leader. But how do you reject a nominee who is yet to be vetted? The report is not ready to be voted for. We are not at a stage of approval. So your conclusion is very preemptive.
Chairman will respect. Chairman will
this is not what I want you to respond to.
No, Chairman,
so
but
I don't want your
Chairman,
response on this.
To the extent that you've raised it, I just need to.
Honorable
Chairman,
Minority Leader,
Chairman,
you have your day.
Chairman,
you have your day. The two microphones should be off.
Chairman,
the two microphones should be off. With all due respect.
We have registered our position.
Honorable Minority Leader,
that we have rejected.
We
don't need to vet
agreed on your position.
We rejected, and we
agreed on your position. Yes. When it is time for voting, then you can vote against the nominee. Yes. So we thank you very much, and we wish you a very good luck. Honorable members.
Happy FM 98.9.
Yes. Honorable members, those present here, we have the constitutional quorum to proceed to vet the Chief Justice nominee and present our report accordingly to Parliament. On this note, we will proceed with the vetting questions. And my Lord Chief Justice nominee, members of the committee will then ask you questions, and you are expected to give response to those questions. Be calm and provide answers to these questions. I will start the preliminary questions with you by asking you to tell us briefly about yourself.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Before I answer the question, may I be expected to, may I be allowed to make a brief opening remark?
Allowed you be allowed to do so after you have indicated to us who you are.
My name
name is Paul Bafobodi.
Happy FM 98.9.
I'm a justice of the Supreme Court. I've been a justice of the Supreme Court since 11th of June 2008. So 17 years plus I've been a Supreme Court judge. Before the 11th of June, for 2 years I was a justice of the Court of Appeal. Before then I was 6 years as a High Court judge and 7 years as a Circuit Court judge. I was born on the 26th of December 1956. I went to Korongo Dumasi Secondary School in 1969. Finished O-level in 1974 and A-level in 1976. I then proceeded to Legon, where I read BA Law from 1976 to 1979. Entered law school in 1979 and left in 1981. I was called to the bar in 1983, 2 years after I had graduated from the law school, because at the time we were being called to the bar, my colleagues were being called to the bar in 81. I was in Nigeria seeking greener pastures. I taught for 2 years in Nigeria before coming down to Ghana, when I was called to the bar and I started practicing law. As a practitioner for about 5 years in the chambers of Dr. Takiotu in Sekende, 1 year in Sekende, and 4 years in Kejetia chambers in Kumasi, where I practiced with my friend, the late Sir John, until 1988 when I joined the Ghana Prison Service. I joined the Ghana Prison Service in 1988 and I underwent 6 months military training and I was posted to Sekende. That's where I met my wife. At the time I met my wife, he was also a Bogno rank person. She didn't have any rank, actually. A sixth former who was then starting her career in the prison service. I was with the prison service for 2 years, till 1990, when we were told that I, as a deputy superintendent of prisons, couldn't marry a junior officer because we couldn't go to the mess together. So I opted out of prison service so that she could stay. So I joined the Internal Revenue Service, where I was the legal officer in charge of Eastern and Volta regions, also for 2 years. Then finally joined the bench in 1992 December. And the rest is history. So I was posted to Biayam Kanta.
Happy FM 98.9.
Go to Kumasi. For 7 years I was second court judge and I became high court judge. And then I'm now here. So I've been a Supreme Court judge for the past 17 years until 22nd of April when I was nominated to act as the Chief Justice during the period of the turbulence. And I'm here before you as a nominee for the position of Chief Justice. Now, if I may read my opening remarks, now that I've asked the first question.
Thank you very much. So, my Lord, beyond telling us about who you are, you indicated you have an opening remark. We've also seen your credentials. In giving us the opening remark, you should briefly describe the personal values and experiences that you believe most qualify you to serve as Ghana's Chief Justice.
Thank you.
You combine it with your remark.
Okay. Honorable Chairman, it's a profound honor for me to appear before you today as nominee for Chief Justice. The judiciary of Ghana stands at a defining moment. As I appear before you today to be vetted by Parliament, I do so fully aware that this process is not merely a constitutional requirement, it's a national reckoning. My nomination comes at a pivotal moment in Ghana's democratic journey, a moment marked by public skepticism, institutional fatigue, and a growing demand for justice
98.9.
that is not only delivered, but deeply. As I step into this role, subject to your endorsement, the nation will look to me not merely to preserve the judiciary's legacy, but to renew it. The nation needs a judiciary that does not merely interpret the law, but elevates the nation's conscience. With your guidance and cooperation and that of all stakeholders, I pledge to restore confidence in our judiciary and leave it stronger than I found it. If I'm endorsed by you, I pledge to lead an era of greater transparency, efficiency, and accessibility in our judiciary. I do so mindful of the constitutional role of the judiciary, not as a political actor, but as a guardian of rights, checks against abuses, and final arbiter in the rule of law. I propose to anchor our transformation on 3 pillars: procedural clarity and predictability, efficiency and accountability, and open justice. If confirmed, I will stand with every judge, every staff, every court user, and every citizen in the belief that access to justice should not depend on who you are or your connections. The Constitution entrusts the Chief Justice not only with judging cases, but with guarding the credibility of justice itself. My task, if confirmed, is to ensure that the law remains both a shield for the weak and a restraint upon the powerful. With your guidance and cooperation, I pledge to restore confidence in our highest institution and leave it stronger than I found it.
Happy FM 98.9.
Throughout my career, from prison service through the Internal Revenue Service and the Judicial Service, where I've been for the past 33 years, I have integrity. I've believed that everything that I have done as a judge has been done with integrity, honesty, and impartiality. I have charted a course of adjudication that believes that the law should be the law for everybody. And that it doesn't matter who you are and what you are. Once it comes to the law, it is no discriminator of persons. That has been my abounding lifestyle. And if anybody were to go through any of my files at any of these places, this is what you come up with. That this man is honest, this man has integrity, and this man has what it takes to be a leader. And I believe that I have what it takes to lead the judicial service.
Thank you very much. That is preliminary.
Happy FM,
Then
98.9.
put the floor to Honorable Roxanne Nelson Kwame Eche Dapamako to ask questions. Honorable member, you are entitled to 3 questions. You may ask up to 3 questions.
Chairman, thank you very much. I'm guided. My Lord, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And thank you for guiding me at the bar.
You're welcome.
My Lord, you have a very rich CV. But let me touch on a matter that is out there. What would you say to those who suggest that your nomination by the president was a reward for your holding in his favor in the 2013 election petition? It's some debate out there.
Well, I don't know. I don't know where to start from. I actually do not know. I wouldn't know what goes on in the president's mind since I'm not there. But I actually would be disappointed if my only qualification for the Chief Justice nomination is because I voted for the president in 2013. But I mean, that's on a lighter note. But I think I qualify for the position. As I said, I have been a Supreme Court judge for the past 17 years. I would not be presumptuous to say I am the best qualified person in the Supreme Court. No, I would say that. But I've been at the Supreme Court for the past 17 years.
Happy FM, 98.9.
Me has been there for 10 years. Meaning I was at the Supreme Court in 2008. The next person came there in 2015. The others are from 2019 and then 2020. So I think I qualify for the position. And let me add something. I was actually, if you look at my CV, and if you follow the trajectory of my career, I was actually admitted, I actually was made a circuit court judge by Chairman Rollins. Then I was promoted in 2000, and I was sworn in together with Secretary Jamefe. I was sworn in by the then Vice President, President Mills. Then I was elevated to the Court of Appeal by President Kufuor. Then to the Supreme Court by President Kufuor. So that was 2008. So if 17 years later, another president deems it fit to eliminate me to the position of a Chief Justice, I think I cut across all political boundaries. I don't think that, I think I'll be a reason for people to say that, oh, this man is deserving of the position. Because from Rawlings, Mills, Kufuor, and then 98.9. Mahama. I think I deserve the position, that's why. But as I said, the president might have personal reasons. I don't know that.
Very grateful. Yes, my lord, you have a very rich and expansive CV. I see that you've done, as part of your work as a juristic officer, you have also worked extensively in election and election-related matters, chaired a lot of committees. Now, the argument is out there regarding the duration that presidential election challenges take, all the 2 or 3 that we've had so far. Will you consider, if you get the approval of this House, will you consider introducing reforms such that, for instance, a challenge can be determined before inauguration on the 7th? Will you consider that? That is between the 7th of December and the 6th of January. Will you consider introducing?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you, Honorable Chair. You see, as part of as you said, I have been a member of the Election Management Committee of the Judicial Service since 2010. And then I became its chair in 2020. As a part of our engagements last year, we had a lot of stakeholder engagements with IPAC. We had stakeholder engagements with the CDD, CODEO, CSOs, and then the Peace Council. The main theme of these meetings was the fact that in 2013, the election petition lasted for almost 8 months. The final decision came on the 29th of August. Essentially, I'm the only surviving member of that panel. Everybody else is surviving. The final decision came on the 29th of August because one of the first drawbacks was we spent almost 1.5 months discussing whether to even allow the NDC as a party to join the action. In the long run, at the end of the day, by a majority of 6-3, NDC was joined to the action. It was one of the greatest mistakes we made in that particular trial. And that was one of the first things we touched on after the trial. We went into a conclave and came up with the decision that, no, there was no need to join any other party. So CI 99 came up, and that was when we decided that the trial and everything could be done within 42 days. So discussions went on, and we agreed on 42 days maximum for presidential election petitions. And so in 2020, when there was an election petition, it was a straight fight between JDM and then Akufo-Addo at the time, and then the EC. And it took 42 days to deal with that election petition. But we know that Kenya does theirs within 21 days. The only time America faced an election petition, that was between Al Gore and Bush in 2000. The election petition, whatever it was, ended with the declaration of the new president before the inauguration. So at these forums or fora where we discussed the election, elections, we came to the conclusion that it should be possible to have the election petition concluded before the 7th of January, the inauguration day. And the first suggestion that came, which we think was a masterstroke, was that we should have the elections on the 7th or the 8th of November. If we have the elections on the 7th or the 8th of November, by the 10th, the results would have been declared. If we have the results declared on the 10th of November, we have 20 more days before even November ends. Then 31 days of December, then 6 days of January, making a total of 57 days. Assuming we want to stick to even the 42-day window provided by CI 99, we can have the election petition filed, responded to, and everything tried within the 42 days, because we have 57 days. That is number one. In addition to that, we can have, lawyers say that every originating motion or originating process has to be served personally on the defendant or respondent. But we all know that in this day and age, every form that anybody fills with a EC, you have to provide electronic address. You have to provide email, telephone, WhatsApp, and everything. So instead of saying that you file a petition and it takes 7 days to get to the respondent, using the electronic mail, we can reduce the number of days to, let's say, 3 days. So a process that is filed, if it is served electronically, even the originating process can be filed and served electronically within 3 days. Instead of waiting for, let's say, 1 week for the response, we can reduce the number of days for the response to, let's say, 4 days. So if we adjust times like that, by the time we get to about, let's say, the 30th of November, that is granted that we had the elections on the 7th of November. By the time we get to November ending, processes would have been, pleadings would have closed. CMC, Court Management Conference would have gone through, issues would have been settled, and then a trial will begin. And a trial like that, we can say it should take no more than 2 weeks. And once 2 weeks are there, we say judgment should be given within 1 week on the release of the results. Meanwhile, at this point in time, during December, we have a lot of holidays. But under the fiat of the Chief Justice, the registries can be made to stay open so that processes can be filed, served, exchanged, everything can be done in such a way that we can have all these things done before the end of January, so that by 7th of January, Inauguration Day, we will have our president who will take the sword and swear to his people and be able to say, because we all know in 2013, for 8 months, the president-elect was performing his constitutional duty all right, but he wasn't too sure whether he was going to be chopped off or replaced or what. If
even though the 2020 election petition also lasted for only 42 days, it lasted beyond the inauguration. So these are things that we have discussed, and we shall need the input of Parliament when it comes to LIs and CIs to be prepared. So this is what I intend to pursue so that we can have our election petitions, if any, in future. And I'm sure there will be end before the inauguration day. Thank you, Kaseɛbɔ.
Thank you very much. Do you have any further question?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. That is so. My Lord, I appear to be the Lone Ranger in this matter. The welfare of the judges at the magisterial level is so dear to me. But I see a disparity in the welfare, in the service of office and conditions of office for what you term professional magistrates, that's lawyer turned magistrates, and the career magistrates. And they do a lot of work, the career magistrates. In some cases, they do relieving in 2 or 3 other district courts within their jurisdiction. So the question is,
yes,
will you consider introducing the career magistrate program to absorb young men who are interested? Yes, reintroduce, because it will be a very heavy source of personnel. And also reforming them in such a way that they will have the opportunity of rising through the ranks to the level. Because recently, you just elevated...
Honorable Member, I think you have
Mr.
asked
Chairman.
your question.
No, Mr. Chairman.
You see, today I said we'll go by the rules. A questioner is not supposed to run commentary. You don't run argument. The foundation cannot be too long. So strictly proceed to ask questions. That is the rule. So Honorable Roxanne Nelson Dapamoko, ask question.
Chairman, I'm guided. Thank you. So, CJ nominee, will you consider reforming the courses, the career magistrate program in such a way that they will have the opportunity of rising through the ranks and getting to the highest level? Because they do a lot of work as the same as the professional magistrates. Presently, you have about 75 openings at the magisterial level. You just elevated some from the circuit to the high court. Naturally, you will elevate the district judges to the circuit court.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the years gone by, when we started practicing, we had the grade 2 magistrates and the grade 1 magistrates. And the grade 2 magistrates were actually not trained lawyers. Most of them were social welfare workers, retired teachers, and the rest. They were grade 2 magistrates. And then lawyers who joined the bench, but were not 3 years, also had to work as grade 2 magistrates. Her Ladyship, Justice Avril Lovely Johnson, was a grade 2 magistrate in Chebi. I appeared before her when I was a lawyer with IRS in Koforidia. I used to appear before her. So that was, and so, but when lawyers get to 3 years, lawyers who had joined the bench got to 3 years, automatically they became grade 1 magistrates. But with the grade 2 magistrates, the original ones, they never had the chance to go beyond grade 2 magistrates. They couldn't join
the bench at any level because they were not lawyers. That was the situation of things until sometime, I think in the 90s, the whole concept of grade 2 magistrate was abolished, leaving only professional magistrates, as lawyers who were magistrates. But then, around the 2000s, the millennium era, this concept of career magistrate was reintroduced. This time they were not called grade 2 magistrates, but they were called career magistrates. But they were doing the same thing. And this time, the judiciary went one step further. Whilst with the grade 2 magistrates, they were just social welfare persons who had retired or been drafted to become magistrates. With the career magistrates, these were even, they could be even as young as 30 years. But they were, the very first ones were actually workers with the judicial service who were drafted to undertake 1 year or 2 year course at the law school. So they took 2 year courses and then they were made career magistrates. But they are not lawyers. So their career path carries them only to the chief magistrate level. And that was it. It doesn't matter how long you stay there, you can get to a chief magistracy, and then that will be the end. But we still maintained the 3 years for professional magistrates. So what then became the order of the day is that these lawyers, these career magistrates, then opted to go and read law. And once they went to read law, then they could transition to become professional magistrates. But here was the problem. You find somebody who has been a career magistrate for, let's say, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. Now he goes to the law school, he transitions, he's a lawyer now. And because he hasn't spent 3 years, he has to remain on the career magistrate level until he becomes 3 years. He gets to 3 years. Even though he might be more experienced than somebody who has left the law school and been practicing for the past 3 years. So there was a problem. And then again, I know, for example, in the army, if you go through the rank of, let's say, the junior ranks, the furthest you can go is maybe chief warrant officer. But in the army, you have a warrant officer who, because of longevity, maybe even be receiving a salary higher than that of a captain, and a senior officer level. But with the career magistrates, it doesn't matter how long you stay as a career magistrate. You cannot run an incremental that will make you overtake a professional magistrate, somebody who has joined just this year. All these were problems but as your honorable member was saying, only about a month or so ago, we had a send-off party for a couple of retired career magistrates. And it was when their CVs, their citations were being read, that we realized that we really need them. Because these are the people who are prepared to go to the nooks and crannies of the country.
maybe you are a magician, maybe you have been following the judicial service. But the vacancy at the district court is 116 at the district court. We are not getting lawyers to join at the magistracy, at the district court. Most of them want to come out to the circuit court and to the high court. So with the current elevation of some circuit court judges to the high court and the district court to the circuit court, we are going to have an opening for 116. And I can assure you, we are not going to get, no matter how often, how much we advertise, we're not going to get people to, lawyers to come and fill these vacancies. So it is my project that I will be discussing with the Judicial Council, the reintroduction of the, not only the reintroduction of the career magistrates, but we should be able to have a proper remuneration regime for them so that those who come can stay. And then, again, it should be possible that there should be a law that makes it possible for somebody who has been a career magistrate for a certain number of years, if he becomes a lawyer, then he doesn't need to wait for another 3 years to become a professional magistrate.
Happy FM 98.9.
A smooth transition. This is a project that I intend to pursue.
Thank you very much. I will then proceed to give the floor to Honorable Mahama Shaibu. You are entitled to 3 questions, strictly questions. I can assure you, my Lord, that every member of this committee may want to exhaust the 3 questions. So, strictly questions, no comment. And non-members of the committee, I plead with you to perpetually remain silent.
Chairman, let me thank you very much. My Lord, congratulations. Chairman has cautioned. But, my Lord, cost of litigation by the day has become very expensive. Legal Aid Commission came in as a stopgap. Unfortunately, they lack the resources to represent clients. So today you have in courts unrepresented litigants. Would you consider fashioning out a very simple procedure which can take care of unrepresented litigants? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. The legal aid is an orphan. The legal aid board is an orphan, like the prison service. Now the prison service, they are getting a
Happy FM 98.9.
But the legal aid remains in the doldrums. It is true that cost of litigation is now very high, and it's becoming very, very high, higher as a result of the delays that are occasioned in the courts, so that even small, minor offenses in the criminal realm, small claims in the civil realm, still have to follow a long queue. So litigation is now very expensive. And when you look at the persons who patronize the legal aid, you realize that, but for the fact that they don't have the means, they wouldn't go there because they are very much under-resourced. So it is something that I have discussed since I started acting. I have discussed with the Attorney General, and we are trying to find a way of resourcing the legal aid. As a matter of fact, with time, in the long term, we are thinking of even mobile courts, which will be able to take care of some of these things.
Happy FM,
We are thinking
98.9.
I was telling somebody that maybe the president even stole his the 24-hour idea, economy idea from the judicial service, because we have planned for some time now to introduce courts around the clock so that we can have night courts. And then, see, all these are supposed to augment the legal aid situation. If there are courts around to take care of cases, definitely the cost of litigation will go down. So apart from asking for more resources, which I have discussed with the Attorney General, we are thinking so much about other things like having night courts, weekend courts. Already we have weekend courts to take care of electricity and other things. So once we do that, we hope that. And then to cap it all, the ADR, ADR is something, an avenue that we want to highlight. Already we have court-connected ADRs, and then we have set aside weeks, 1 week in every term to have ADR sensitization. But people are still not sensitized enough to resort to ADR in some of their claims. So we have a combination of plans to get rid of, to resolve the legal aid and also reduce the cost of litigation.
98.9.
Thank you very much. I recognize a supplementary question from Honorable Mahama Yariga, the leader of the House. You have the floor.
Thank you. So, my Lord, do you have your commitment that your court will now say 24 hours when you become Chief Justice? Judiciary at 24 hours.
I said we are exploring. Already we have. No,
we want to pin you down to a specific commitment to this committee that the courts will explore and will sit 24 hours and provide opportunities to citizens to pursue justice 24 hours.
Well, it is possible, but for now, we have some courts that have morning shifts and afternoon shifts. At least for now, we have that one. And we have some courts that sit over the weekends. So it is now left to us to, so we can say we have a 16-hour economy. It's now left with time, maybe we will get to a 24-hour. I'm certain the president showed his ideas for us.
Thank you very much. Honorable Shaibu, do you have any further question or follow-up on this question?
Thank you, Chairman. A further question, not a follow-up.
That is your question number 2.
My Lord, let's stay within justice delivery. A very important aspect of how we live. Cases on appeal. Previously, if you're up country,
Bolga, Wa, Tamale, they would have to travel to Accra for Court of Appeal cases.
98.9.
I note that there was a system in place that cases were heard in Ho, Kumasi, Tamale, and Cape Coast. This, for some time now, has not been working, or it has been suspended. Would you consider that Accra is not Ghana, and that many regions still will have to travel to Accra to the Court of Appeal? Would you consider reinstating and possibly expanding that service to all regions of this country? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think with all due respect to the questioner, I think the question is not factually correct. Yes, we used to have Court of Appeal sitting in certain regional capitals that are not where we don't have them now. But it is not true that all the other regions have been suspended. No. Now we have a Court of Appeal in Accra, as usual. We have a Court of Appeal in Kumasi, where we have accommodation. So they are residents there. The judges, there are 10 judges of the Court of Appeal who are in Kumasi, residents there, dealing with cases in the Ashanti region, Brong-Ahafo, and the north. We have 5 dedicated Court of Appeal judges for Eastern and Volta regions. I mean dedicated in the sense that they are assigned to only the Court of cases from Eastern and Volta regions. So the Court of Appeal sits in Koforidua. Then a Court of Appeal sits in Sekondi to take care of Central and Western regions, and then the Western North. So we have at least 4 courts of appeal. That is Accra, Kumasi, Koforidua, and Sekondi. These are the 4 places that we have our cases. But whilst because there is accommodation for the judges in Kumasi, they are resident there. The dedicated 5 for Eastern and Volta are living in Accra, but they go to Koforidua 1 week in a month. 1 week in a month. They will go and sit there 1 week in a month. Then those who are for Sekondi also go to Sekondi and deal with cases 1 week in a month. Now, Tamale and the North don't have resident judges there, but they are also served by the judges in Kumasi. But you see, because of distance and then even costs, any time the 5-member committee, judges, goes to Kumasi, goes to Sekondi, the service spends 38,500 cedis or 40,000 cedis on them in terms of hotel accommodation, transportation, and all other logistics. Koforidua, if the 5-member group is the same thing, around 40,000 cedis. But you see, going from here to Koforidua is so easy, even though it is risky and inconvenient. It is still short. The Kumasi difficult to go to Tamale, where they would meet the judges. So they were doing virtual hearing. The virtual hearing was started at the time of COVID, and we realized that it is a very good way of doing things. So Kumasi and the North were communicating only by virtual hearing. And then, but when I started acting, I realized that the virtual hearing was not very convenient because of the interconnectivity. There were breaks in transmission and other things. So I actually spoke to the Judicial Council. We went to see the Minister for Communications, that is Honorable Sam George. And now we have the interconnectivity is so good that even now we don't go to Sekedi again. We do virtual hearing of appeals for
Happy FM 98.9.
So now instead of incurring 40,000 CDs in a month, we do virtual hearing. So it is something that the lawyers are very, very happy about. For now, the judges stay in Accra, and then the parties meet in Koforidua. So even if the lawyers in the case are in Accra, they still have to go to Sekendi to take part in the virtual hearing. Now, what we are aiming at is a situation where we can have persons, for example, Koforidua and Ho. We are trying to get to a situation where lawyers will not go from Koforidua and Ho to Koforidua, but they can also have a hearing whilst they are in Ho, so that the judges will be in Accra, the parties could be in, one of the parties could be in Koforidua, another party will be in Ho, or Cape Coast lawyers can sit in Cape Coast and listen in and take part in it. That is a long-term project, but for now, the regional capitals are taken care of by way of virtual hearing.
Any further question?
Yes, Chairman.
Please do.
I see my lord is getting into virtual stuff.
Happy
so let's
FM
move on
98.9.
to of judges at the Supreme Court. First of all, what goes into the thinking when you are empaneling judges? And given that the human element of it raises some questions, would you consider looking at an automated system of empaneling judges at the Supreme Court? Thank you.
Yes, my lord.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Empaneling creates a lot of anxieties among people. There are lots and lots of people suspicious about for judge shopping, persons who are, some judges are not empaneled and other things. I think to get rid of such suspicions, we should be able to consider AI to do that. I am not very AI, but I know that those who know about AI tells me that if you are able to feed the computer or AI with information about judges, their philosophies and everything, the AI should be able to do empaneling based upon the thing that we have fed it with. But, and I think it is done elsewhere. So we can try it.
98.9.
But what actually goes into the used to go, I wouldn't be able to say for some time now what. But when I joined the bench, when I joined the Supreme Court bench, we were about 16. And then when at the Supreme Court, we know everything is based upon seniority. We have persons we refer to as seniors. Then we have the middle, and we find the juniors. There is no derogatory. None of the words is complimentary or derogatory. It only shows when a person was appointed. So I will be the most senior. It doesn't mean I'm the best. Somebody may be the most junior because he was appointed to the Supreme Court only yesterday. But that is how we had this classification. So any case, we had the seniors. So any case that we wanted to empanel, you find one senior. Since we sit in panels of 5, we have a senior, we have 2 middle, and 2 juniors. And that makes a panel. And it was done randomly. There were situations where if we are sitting in 7 and we want to believe that this is a matter that we should get the seniors to sit on, then it is that can also be done. I remember in the 2013 election petition, the empaneling was done in such a way that the Chief Justice opted not to sit on it. Justice Datiba had only 4 months to go on retirement. And since we were not too sure how long the whole trial was going to take, he opted out. Then it was number 1, number 2, number 3, number 2, up to number 9. So it wasn't like somebody had been handpicked from somewhere because of this particular reason or the other to do it. So empaneling is normally done randomly, or it follows certain patterns. But because of the anxiety it creates among people, the suspicions, or people feel it's not transparent, I think we should be able to consider AI empaneling. But in our part of the world where a person can decide not to sit just about 2 or 3 hours at a time because the wife is being taken to the hospital or the father has just died, it means AI will find it difficult to replace such a person. Maybe AI should be told that, okay, instead of 5, set aside 6. So when somebody opts out, you can bring the 6th person in. So AI will be a very good thing for empaneling. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Shaibu. Your very last question.
Yeah. Exceedingly grateful. Exceedingly grateful, Chairman. I see my Lord has veered into
Happy FM 98.9.
Can we apply AI again or any other method? Backlog of cases and then delays. What concrete steps and time-bound steps
would you want to employ to deal with backlog of cases that are hanging and speedy trials? Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think to tackle the backlog, to find a way of clearing the backlog, we must first identify what causes the backlog and then the delays. In the first place, litigation, courtroom litigation the volume has increased, whether we like it or not. Now, people litigate practically over everything. In the years gone by, I'm sure if you took my picture and you displayed it in your newspaper, and so I'll be very, very happy if somebody came and Daddy, I saw your picture somewhere. I mean, I will see it as even you promoting me. But I'm certain that if you displayed my picture in your anywhere else, maybe even in your house, and without my permission, I will sue you. So now people sue practically over everything. Intellectual property and everything. So the courts are 98.9. That is number one. We've tried to solve that problem by opening more courts. But the more courts that are opened, the more the litigation comes up. Some time ago, we had courts up to Medina. From Medina, you could only go to another court on the mountains. Then we realized that we have to have a court at Adenta to take care of that enclave. Now, courts in Adenta have more cases than courts in the law court complex. The threshold for every court should be about 250 cases. At the last count, the High Court 1 in Adenta had 849 cases for one court. So the cases are many. There are more cases. So it doesn't matter how hard you work. You find you deal with one case and two more cases are added. Then we have situations which I will refer to as, institutional. CI 47 was actually passed in 2004. Those of us who were practicing using the older version of the rules, that was LN 140A of 1948 or 1950, 1960, 1954, LN 140A of 1954. Between 1954 and 2004, when the new CI 47 came, lawyers were always referring to the White Book of London, of England, which had undergone several editions. But we still had our LN 140 of 1954. By the time we had the CI in 2004, CI 47, it was already dead at birth. It was outmoded at birth. So we have rules in the CI 47 which make it impossible for us to move forward. In this day and age of electronic e-service and everything, we still say that when a person issues a writ, it has to be served within 8 days. Now we have the Electronic Act, which makes it possible for you to do a service electronically. But the rules insist that as far as the originating process is concerned, it has to be served personally. So in this day and age of when everybody fears for his security, we still have bailiffs going around serving processes. So if we improved the rules, we have situations where applications that are filed, applications are filed and they stall proceedings in the trial courts. All these things are taken care of by the rules.
98.9.
So if we are able to review the rules, and that is one of the things that I intend to do, to engage the Rules Committee, the Attorney General's Department, the Attorney General, not the Attorney General's Department. I will be on his neck, and then I'm not going to kill him. I'm not going to kill him. I'll be on his neck, and then with the Rules Committee, so that we should be able to amend the rules to make it user-friendly, to take care of the technicalities so that trials can be sped up. As for the cases that are already in the back, that have been clocked, what we can do is that we should be able to track. Now we have a monitoring team, which I'm going to reinforce, that goes about tracking backlog cases that are locked up, and then we will see what we should be able to do about it. This is not to say that there are no human elements in this. Lawyers play all kinds of games to have cases delayed. They play all kinds of games to have cases adjourned. I remember when I was appointed a Supreme Court judge, and we were attached to the American Supreme Court. They were surprised that on the ground of somebody's wife, and a lawyer says, my wife is being taken to the hospital. The judge asked us, are you a doctor? If your wife is going to deliver, you are the doctor, you don't need to be there. You have to come to court. And that is their system. But here, sometimes you have somebody coming to say, my father has died. 3 years later, he's asking for adjournment, and his father has died. 4 years later, the same father has died. How many fathers you have, you cannot really tell. So we see there's a human element to this. But we are going to work on all these so that we can have a reduction in the backlog of cases. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much, my Lord, the Acting Chief Justice, and the nominee before us. We have 6 more members to ask you a question. Therefore, we will plead that the brevity rules that apply to members would apply to you, mutatis mutandis. So I will call on Honorable Haji Aladi to ask you a question.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, let me take the opportunity to congratulate my brother on his being nominated. From your narration, you have clearly stated that you've come a long way through so many governments, presidents, vice presidents, and what have you. That is actually a basket full of a lot of experience, and your CV tells it all.
98.9.
However, although you are acting, you are now going to be the substantive, inshallah. My question is, as Chief Justice, you will preside over a Supreme Court with diverse personalities and differing judicial philosophies. How will you foster collegiality and prevent personal disagreements from undermining the administration of justice? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Well, Honorable Chair, by its nature, the Supreme Court is collegial. When we say collegial, we mean unlike let's say, the State Court, the Circuit Court, and the High Court. We sit in colleges, we sit in panels of more than one. So, and then we take decisions together. There is every judgment that is delivered, that you read about, even though it comes under the hand of one judge, you can be sure that it has been decided by the panel members. Unless there is a dissenting opinion, it is the opinion of the judges. So that is why we say it's collegial. We go into a college, we call a conclave, and then we come up with decisions. You are right. I come from Gozo. The person who is now the president of the police
Happy FM 98.9.
Navrongo. We have somebody from Wa. I went to the best secondary school in Ghana, Korongotuma Secondary School. Somebody went to one of us went to a school which is no longer even in existence. Sir Dennis went to a school which at the time was a mixed school. Now it's a girls' school. Achimamai Secondary School has now become a Fiakobi Girls' Secondary School. So he doesn't even know whether he's an old student or... So...
My Lord, he's still an old student. And the school is still in existence.
And then there is this Wa man who went to school at Koforidia, the town of the flowers. You see, so you are right. We come from different backgrounds, different schools, different philosophies. Some of us, a couple of us, about 3 or 4 of us, started from 2 of us started from the magistracy. Her Ladyship, Avril Lovell Johnson, started from grade 2. Sergio Jamefe started from the Regional Tribunal. So both below the Circuit Court where I started. And then there were some of us who joined at the Court of Appeal, like I said, Dennis. Justice Puaman joined at the Supreme Court. Justice Yodi Kulendis joined at the Supreme Court. We have persons who have come from the academia, like Professor Mensa Bosu. So we have different philosophies.
Happy FM 98.9.
And so when you have all these people with different backgrounds having to come together and then agree on something, even with all due respect, you see how lawyers agree or disagree. The little that we saw from the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Minority Leader, and Honorable Majority Leader, 3 very able lawyers agreeing or disagreeing on the rules, the standing orders, it shows that once we come from different backgrounds, we will have different approaches to things. It could be our strength, but it could be a weakness. As a Chief Justice, your ability to harness all these into something concrete, that is what leadership is about. That is what you should, if you are able to do this, and you should be able to discuss things formally and informally before things escalate. You should be able to do things. Even empaneling can create problems among you when somebody feels that this man is not being empaneled. I wasn't empaneled for close to 1 year, even though I was the number 2 after the Chief Justice. I wasn't empaneled. It can create problems. But
Happy FM,
as a leader, you should be able to manage all this. And then you should be able to manage all this. And even though I'm talking about collegiality and then the need to have a consensus, that should not be the final thing. You should be able to encourage parties, judges, to air their views. Dissent should be encouraged. It is always better to have a consensus on everything. But if you can't have a consensus, you should be able to, if somebody says, I'm going to write a dissenting opinion, you should be able to write a dissenting opinion. You should be able to encourage the person to write a dissenting opinion. It is a way of fostering unity amongst yourselves. And fortunately, again, having been here for so long and having been here, having dealt with all the members of the Supreme Court bench now, I happen to have personal relationship with every one of them. Every one of them. Those who used to appear before me when I was a High Court judge, like Justice Dorothy Kulendi, Justice Puaman, they used to appear before me when I was a High Court judge. Justice Dennis used to appear before me when I was a Circuit Court judge. He was a lawyer in Kumasi. And then Justice Ajay Frumpo was a junior to my very, 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 very good friend called O2SL, who has passed on. So when I was even sitting at the High Court in Kumasi,
98.9,
he was appearing before me. So I have this relationship with all these judges. That makes it easier for me to be able to bring them all together. So I will be able to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Haji Aladi. You have a further question?
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
Please do.
Mr. Chairman, there is a very big issue that is worrying a lot of us when it comes to getting maybe people who are brought before the courts so that the judges can handle them very fast. Cases are not taken up very fast. So because of that, you find our prisons choked with a lot of people, some even just because they have stolen a bunch of banana on remand. You simply can't understand. And if you look at them, when people show you such pictures, it's horrifying. Will you consider ensuring that we have at least these community courts, the tribunals, working very seriously, and you applying the 24-hour economy as you have said earlier on, so that such people can be given community kind of punishment just to deter them, rather than pushing everybody to the prisons. Because recently, just 3 days ago, just 3 days ago, I got a message that someone went to court and then was told that the judge had put to bed, so she was not in court. Now, when is she going to come out, let alone to look at it? And I don't know whether it will be passed on to another judge or that case has to wait. So will you consider ensuring that the tribunals come up basically at all the best places that you can think of, so that such cases would be handled or fast-tracked? Thank you.
Yes, my Lord, your response.
It looks like you are speaking the language of my wife. My wife has maybe engaged you to ask questions about the prison service. This is something that I know about, because as I said, I was a prison officer. And since my wife is also there, I know. For example, I am told that the inmate situation in some prisons was built, the capacity for some prisons is 851. 851. As of today, they are 3,562. A variance of 2,711. Kumasi Male Prisons was built for 416 persons. As of today, there are 1,727. And this is replicated all over. The prisons are choked. The prisons are choked. Remand prisoners, I mean, it is a bother. And one of the causes of the prisons getting choked is people being remanded, and sometimes indiscriminately. That is why, and then there are also some, as you said, who have committed minor offenses who shouldn't be there. But they are there. So I think that it was particularly for these minor offenders that the Justice for All program was introduced. And for some time now, maybe because of the turbulence, this year, they have not actually even sat. It is something that I want to reignite, revamp it, so that we can have the Justice for All back on the road, so that we can get rid of some of these persons.
Bahwada benti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe. Bahwada benti sinupi na nokre eye baako pe.
Happy 98.9 FM. Memoaha moadwo eba yejumedie so medikan amoakwa abadeda. Na enkomo a wote e wo radio no so nyina na wo he no Facebook so nyina no. The ongoing vetting of Justice Bafuboni as nominated by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say onkoda the judiciary ano as Chief Justice. Now sa vetting way didn't come without the usual drama. Of course, the appointments committee, a committee bia, omwaje edimbone diama wo mo ho afiwe pa. Na enen so esen yiniti biem. for well over 2 good hours. Na yetwe manso efa rules e was a committee no ede eye adwuma e woni fa bi. Ensem ne say majority leader say ene say watena se no ontwen enhwe ma ahwanyoma kan minority leader enye ne wope. Enti ne o kan paragraph ba ku bia no raise objection. O kan paragraph menu bia no raise objection. And objection a point of orders are no reason no. Efa rules are was a parliament and a committee in the year adwuma ho. And on every occasion you could trust the minority leader to fight back. Omo ebrobro soa for be 2 hours. And a chairman of the committee say womunko break. We ankoye coffee break. He announced a cocoa break. And omo de sorry. Omo ba back no. Minority for amba biem. Because ne sorry mu no, they indicated say enya dia omo be part of the process because majority no I can womo Kaseɛbɔ ahye womo yem. The way also mo express womo ho no mo kire womo adwene. E wo nominee no a ye de na betena ho se no mu hunu no. Ye ma womo kwan. Inti the vetting process no enya dia omo ebe ye part of. Inti vetting is going on, but the minority any vetting I say, and so they are not there to ask questions. So say no, young konkwa majority for no na omo vetting Justice Bafo Bonny. We are yenin komo na yemon komo. There are a number of other issues set up no so a pese yadwenwene ho so ne die ho enkomo. Galamsey ntokwa no ye ntokwa a ongoing. Ntokwa ye kune da enye nani yijai. Yebeko akopem se ewose etu ntokwa no ase. Now when President Mahama over the weekend at the GJA, in fact 29 GJA awards, Osha Ghana for nyina bose enkankane communities a omo etu omo ani de si security force so 9 months so any state agencies are omo fight eye galamsey no. The state will come heavy on them. Now, or send a warning to some communities, you know, which police for an amo boom, Muha soldier for an amo persemo boom, Nana no EPA, and then some truffle. Masha that day car, a cock crash warm dear, we an accident to a deliberate pa, and a moye cadet, Caribesan Grenipa enqua. President said, or sending a warning to those communities. Now, Ebinswaka said, sa science way in our science, say, Yenya krokro no na declare state of emergency over those places because they have shown enough sign said they are ready to battle and to fight. Anyway, can we have some belief and trust? Oh, President Mahama say obeko hard on communities a fighter galamsey fighters ana. Now, election related violence. Felix na koyo and so asem no da so ho asem we enkwane nkochina because there are issues to be clarified and questions to be answered. If we say the interior minister then report betu dwa in the case of Ewutu Senya East oka say committee no ene MP or yeah allegation say yakuni nipa enti say Ghana mra ye adwuma omuni ni hia no MP ni ka say ono kra no ni ho asem bia say ansi sana interior minister ka kire say committee no etwroye kwansi ena Madam Hawa Kumsi this statement ba bonten ka say she's been vindicated because from day one or deny allegation no ne don't hurry ni mu a na Felix na koyo ade chiye akwa issue statement. In fact, when issue statement, she actually called a press conference. Which press conference wa mo obi ambusa question was here. To friends em trofo no kan adwen ene obi asore koe ya mo obi akwan ambusa question. Anka normally we call press conference a. Ye kan statement ni wi a Then they allow the media to interact and ask questions. We Ntisa, and she made some interesting claims in that press conference. And then, a contradicting assembly in a radio and TV interview when she made the allegation initially. Now, can committee in report be or say Mahindra track na Phyllis na call you ne boys ni timuno. Boys na timuno to free car ni mu. Na omo na ete sa Mahindra ni mu nim kwan a boy ne fa so wuye. Yet they don't want to cooperate. Question is kwan ben na brante ne fa so wuye. And why are the people who were with him omo na esu se obi na abekun omo no abekunu no enye ready to talk? Eye omo atuo ne kun omo anipa no omo po obi dia hye no nti no mo de ko hye ha wakumsi ana. Mahindra no gunshot wounds na wo ho ana. Ya fix car na shop ben nkoye se adwuma no. Phyllis Nakoyo has clearly stated in public, say, based on uncultural statement in my police. Yet, assembly see or Bobena, Yakumi Nipo, Yepemia Kumio, Yakumi Nipo, based in 11th month Munie, Uncle Police Station case, as soon as Nipo. Are you interested in having this matter resolved, Anna? Are you interested in getting justice for Brantena Wuna? No sounds so can you? Or say, so boys na no ni omo na mo na ready so mo be kasa ono de no be hey, why you cool nipa? E be din komo ni abosase mu hu komo. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ukwade yi be launche enkoko nketenkete. Ade en launche de dai. Sa, okay. Ukwade day nimu which is 10th of November. His Excellency the President. Hey, Mr. 10th of November. on the 12th of November, President ebe launch nkokon kitinkiti. Na nkokon kitinkiti ya concept ba kwa ode to Ghana for 3 years to abade mano. Enipa bi eni age ho. Ebi so skeptical. Omo ye critics of this promise. Ese omani dasada in confirm with 2 years. Ebi say we probably haven't thought through this policy very well. Because it is not just to say we be nye nkoko ufi. Feed the ben or the beman kokono. Veterinary services no yebeye ne sen ya target ya ma obi o beneficiary bia ne nkoko yetimia wo mompane a enkofa yade mba. Omo ebeye beneficiaries of SAR policy we yebe mo training a ebe ma nkoko no betimi ahwe omu yie na wo mu nkowu. Questions are being asked. But you see, the Poultry Farmers Association enso de bia betumu say stakeholder engagement a omo hwe animu afiri aban no ho no. Sa stakeholder engagement no enkoso. Ye nyina ye nim se Bono Ahafomantemo ye the hub of poultry farm. The Vice President of Poultry Farmers Association in the Bono ene Ahafompotemo ho say Abai has not engaged omo poultry farmers. Stakeholder engagement ewo form. Yebedi nkomo ne abon komo sa issues we nyina eho. Etonsa fro say onso do thoughts ebeba na atoa enkomo no eso. Abedwafo atena se. But before I'll get to them, meko ne makwa kwejai messages ba kumienu miensen gumu. Mekoba Georgia for atena se. Oye General Secretary Emma Ghana Freedom Party. Fifi Deka, a member of the MPP's communications team. And Haruna Amaleba, a member of the NDC's Communications Bureau. We're back to deal with these matters, including the ongoing vetting of Justice Bafoboni. Yebasisia.
Na me shade wo bag. Bra, den enen so biem
time heba me hye ya me ka se yi ba akun ane wayi me yensen
bra sanya time heba me hye esia gyimi ni me fiefo enya de abako ebeso yen
we de udi se ofa ni nyina
time heba me hye me ka se me di one dance ya heaven ene de mekwa akopie enti se malaria we draw ne time heba mixture
enye enunku o de nanum ato a wontimi anidie no time heba mixture duro no ene ye ma oba a wafa afuro de o ma akwada anofo ene akwada a woni mfie dumienu entimi num aduro yi bi se obeto aduro yi bi anoma hwe se wakọ hospital anase lab am ye hu se wo a 3D malaria se o time heba mixture enuro dudu atu a fo ani kire KNG Herbal Center ewo Emrom Abidjan House ana ba akoso wo atonsu Monaco Junction
eno echi ura pharmacy shop chemical shop any herbal shop dodo na mu a obenya bi ato
fre 0244 417669
kayo set time no TIME time herbal mixture afi malaria fever bi adani ziba ewo mu no betu akọ
FDA ahwe adwadie nkrato yi mu agi atomo se eye
Efri nwan hini ekosi nro efri haban ede konkwa Ghana bibidro di tumi sorry awodene ene nukremu ebre no dro say ye de Ghana Herbal Conference de di kan kra ebro jumadie ebekoso December bosomene da etoso miensa ekopim enum ewo Prempe Assembly Hall Kumasi asemtitra ede jumadie ne so ne Harmony in Herbalism Balancing Tradition and Innovation bra na bahwe akwan ahodo a ye bibinro na hunu nuru ahodo a yayo ewo Ghana ha na ne adunsifo akukudan ene wonom a wo ye bibinro mu hwehwemu eni nkoma ehun hia sa adwumadie wonom o maso yasene amiade bramo eye the Ministry of Health Ghana Federation of Traditional Medicine Practitioners Association GAFTRAM Food and Drugs Authority FDA and the Center for Plant Medicine Research bomodia na kwa be fontintan kese ne so www.ghanaherbalconference.com DHI ewa be fontintan kese ahodo ne so at Ghana Herbal Conference so pese obeda wunru awayo no edi anase ope baby a ubetimi di unro na sie ewo dwumadie na se a bomodia na frey ewo tetefo homa iso 0202-222-095 ana before forms ewo YFM Kumasi inshaye so ben MTN Inshira FM anase Love FM Ghana Herbal Conference our roots our remedy
Emrena saso say bebo mrantiane mabawa omwada mu wadi sonoko agudie ni munu abaso aye the 2025 Swag Awards anika sabre say afi awards need 50 years and the Golden Jubilee edition of the Swag Awards Paso Accra International Conference Center Saturday November 15 2025 time aye 6 p.m. Assembly daso a call for change in national orientation and investment in sports special guest of honor His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, and a guest of honor, Mr. Julius Debra, Honorable Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana, also in attendance, Mr. Gianni Mello, President, Association of International Sports Press, AIPS, performing live, Afro and Dancehall star, Stone Boy. Say a Swag Awards, Saturday, 15th November 2025, Accra International Conference Center, the longest running awards event in Ghana. The 50th Swag Awards. GCB Bank, Gold Board, Tobinco, Stanbic Bank, Ghana Free Zones Authority, National Petroleum Authority, Omnipsic Bank, Phoenix Insurance, etc., etc. The 50th Swag Awards. Another time to celebrate and honor the best to inspire the rest.
Hey, Kofi. Let me amount canchemano. About the Dano year. Abra Utia just 1,000 Ghana cedis. Me a one ya.
Obi Oyinkonya.
Wait see. Me a Happy FM Valentine Mass Wedding 2026.
Sa dwumadie no a ye hoahoa wo se oye odehye niema koda ahogye kese na ye san ema manfo di wakire se de oye celebrity no.
Wetwa. Be fie duonini. Ane de aka odo ho asema. Ye kan warefo bebrabom.
Enti anu me de me mpra no miensa no ba.
Debi Kofi. Oba baako, bema baako, odo baako.
Happy FM Valentine Mass Wedding. Well love meet affordability. A warrior on another level. Don't know.
Before registration forms, ewo Happy FM asalam down.
So person so yasene a obetimi afrete for home 0244 906 235 and I say 0302 254 858. Mamin Kaiwo, send check a crowd.
Your property holds the power to transform your future. Welcome to Eclipse Collateral Management, the game changer in turning property documents into profits. We are not just another service. We are your partner in unlocking sustainable income and fueling business growth. With prime brokerage, collateral brokerage, credit brokerage, and land documents perfection, we are redefining what is possible for property owners and business owners alike. At Eclipse, we have built a primary depository platform, a secure, innovative space where property owners like you can lodge your documents and earn risk-free, sustainable income. For businesses struggling to secure funding, we provide collateral solutions you need to thrive and grow. Every move we make is backed by a rigorous credit appraisal process, so you know you are in safe hands. Find us at Adenta Barrier near Medi Moses Hospital, beside the West African Senior High School wall. Call 054 383-2466 today. At Eclipse Collateral Management, for property owners, we say think safety and decent income. And for business owners, we say think funding before projects.
Big goal. Big goal. Big goal.
Number one everywhere you go. Big goal. For the friends and the family. Big goal. Big refreshing moment. Big goal. For the kids and the adults. Big goal. Boys and girls with a drink up. Big goal. Everywhere the party day. Big goal. We go mash up the place with it. Big goal. Greatest in every battle. Big goal. Big goal. Big goal. Big goal. Big goal. Big goal. Greatest in every battle. Big O. Big refreshing moments.
Big old drink. Big refreshing moment. Another quality product from Trillium Industries. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. Epahwada Benju Medie any friend wa joining Amidine Bestmark Brown, Madam team na say Joel Sanko Jimaima Adato, Joyce Akuma Niwa and Afen so oh bra the special one ba kope Mr. Na mra ye wuramu mra me ne mabedwa for ebesi nkonwa na edi enen komo me ne wo ka say Justice Bafoboni is still before the appointments committee vetting no enya ne tie se ekoso asa o mamumusu kakra. But we go around the table. There was drama before the vetting itself, which is not unusual with the appointments committee, and especially her issues. One was expecting say ebeba ni say na Adamate said that pronso yati ni na yahwe. Phyllis now call you issues no and her counter claims against the report of the Interior Minister and so yasemba kwa. And also social media man for so womra bontin o me patcho na we de anko ye oni omo ye adwene sa na yahwe nkokon kitinkiti program to be launched on Wednesday. The future of this project with SADA in mind, what is new and different lessons men na yesua our mistakes ye was SADA a confirm ye nimu and ye bold enough so ye caught into Guinea ye caught into nkokon kitinkiti a SADA problems ni bi enkonkonkoba. Aruna, memo adwubiem na mama wakwaba na mama Fifi so adwo mama na kwaba and George Afo, special one to you as well.
Bibi majo so na pomo.
Nyame adome ho ye na wonso e.
Me de me nkwache me.
E da oba de ase. Fi boko de.
Boko bibi.
E de nyame ase. George. Afa.
Charlie. Me de enra me gi me 3 points no.
Kotoko.
Mo ni gym.
Na has player no nim so we offside na.
Say you see na baby
e kobo referee
na baby
referee. He personally attacked I think it's one of the linesmen.
Yeah.
Referee the police for on door.
FM,
But one of the assistant referees,
after the game,
he managed to hit the guy.
He should be suspended.
Oh yes.
I think this afternoon issue with apology, and I think a young player internal.
Apology. The rules must work.
Yeah, but I think the F, and share or up and coming. I think
running anyway. Because you see, you humane.
Yeah.
What I say,
yeah.
And Sanya Manon was a guiding, especially when Kotokone has. I was a trainer soon.
Anyway, until baby, I think UK na anye ya mami Manchester City share and train but over Ghana there it's a weekend
when you to a balance ma
balance
usu hana srewa no na hey and Justice Bafuboni appointments the drama surrounding it and all of that. Let me hear you on it. Minority if you say you come Kaseɛbɔ show they have views on the way I Justice Tokonu fee office. They have views on the fact is Justice Tokonu exhausted all the processes and so you're quite ahead after before from an alcohol in a juma. When you pan so I found some coin a juma no or no to me one in some so obey and panel judges are on better Justice Tokonu and some so they raised it on the floor of Parliament and the speaker ruled against one more seminar no more canon. Ebe PMO ewo committee level no the minority leader say obe repeat sa opinions no ewo the preliminary remarks mu but the majority leader will not have any of that. Bro subia omo decided say omo betwe omo. I mean tio
me da se bibi we chetie for now. Say na 10th November
sharp.
Ni aisi ne nyame nwanwa because I mean say ebesi
and then 10th November no history bi o hosa
oh say you say na the
neighbor
appointed we nominee CJ no nti me na no say minority for no nia omo pese ye mo no say ankoba so a anya de ombetena se ayesa vetting no nti me start say
but this is contrary to Osahene Afenyoma Kene earlier position say if a man for expected say minority ni be boycott and so be stay away they will go sit through it and grill Justice Bafuboni.
Baby nanka eno na me hwe say BC say odie nia esi nyina no mfantu nchen na papa na edi no aba mwanimu no ohokra na
more
punchlines we are say but o sorry few are nia Ghana for pese omoti ni bibi ye hye ho no ebia wona mamo kwan no omomo mbisa but some mo ho anka mbebisa odi so obisa kra na se etwa wa no a
obisa
Ghana for hu se obisa na anu yie no na anye den amba na se si a wa sorry ebe den na nia Ghana for pese omuhu ni omuti ebeba so
na o ye sure say Ghana for person omuti sansem no
oh yes bibi because one say no kware say kwan a mamenu di call ye no bebre bunto mu yem ha enti no na omo opportunity bi a omo be bisa omo nsem bi omo be ka omo nsem bi enti na ka me say this particular vetting no ebeye dina so baako ama minority no nanka nsem bi e wo bia no omatumi ayeden omatumi aka esan se won say one or what committee no so no wo be 2 or 3 question enti bia mu kra otumi aka che members ne say look ye ko no yemfa this opportunity na yenka che nipa na oti yeni no say kwan ya yefa aso yi mame no ono ankasa no as a judge no eye kwan papa nanka momfa sa akwa no kran bisa na bia chairman ka se o bia question no kra o bisa no kra no membisa enti nanka minority no wo kwan bebre and come to me at the idea. I come on some
But the minority
feels, sorry.
They feel frustrated. I say, when you are say, "Oh, Kobo justice stock no process di ni pe or say a cattle."
Baby, so we are minority and also you're MP. Now so also you feel frustrated. Okay, maybe say same way. Nipa na original line mu akoko to abama ono. So original line mu na also we bɔ me dodo. Nti the way we bɔ me dodo no. Me nkonko to aba ne biom. Ebe de no be parliament. Enti no enye wo akɔ parliament as MP no.
Ekadwuma no ho.
Ekadwuma nipa na odi wo akɔ tena ho no. Ono ni yie na wo hwehwɛ. Enye wo ankasa wo yie die.
Nti anwen frustration
no. No.
Di utrim na tena ho yɛ adwuma no.
Ukodwi frustration no dey na say onye ready so be MP.
Na tell say.
Onye ready say nkrofo no musmo awo no, dwumedi o musi kodi mo awo no. Ukọ akodi. And frustration emba we asem we mu. And ko na kotena say na asem bia esese obisa papa no bia bisa no. Even po se chairman no po twa no a. Sa de na life.
Yeah.
Ghana for be say chairman, you are being biased. Na dey ntina papa we bisa se muntwa papa we enyi ano because ye hu sa niam bebre wo committee no so I want say ye bisa obi asema na chairman no pese okate no ne ade ye hu sa niam no bebre ebunu so ti omuti committee so na abaso bode obi kura ye nya engine no to kura do we say inshallah me say beji watum oh entero
Osama me ne dey so no
oh de bia na ha entero me de minya kana ka minority no omotena emu kosisi ebewie nsem bia wo ho bia no omumbesa.
The use of the phrase disputed nominee any problem no. Oni omo ya adwene say papa na onye a disputed nominee obi a ya paw na menteme ho ase wo ne ho because for the majority as far as we are concerned there is no dispute. Inti ensese minority leader no friend no disputed nominee. But the eka say there are processes in court. Justice Tokonu raising against the removal. Asano Kraba Kunso Muni said the processes are not against the nominated Chief Justice. What are your thoughts on sir disputed nominee and back and forth?
You see, Bibi. Asemwe na nkasa no akanfo wo baby so say akukọ sachira kroma kra na enye ne fe o de yemfa ne say ni omoka no no kware
Happy FM 98.
Justice Bafo Boni se ebia sa asem bi kra ni ne ho emfa asem bi ni ne ho ene yede na ba say yembe vete no because of nia esi enura ne ntino we den ya yebanya asem bi afa no se anka bibie nsi ana former Chief Justice ebi owie de dwumadie ana so no na de tu no ko ya anka ne esi na nsi o na asem a ekoso wo parliament nyina ye enura asem enti kwan a wo fa so yi mame no enye kwan pa enti ye nso no ye be make sure say nya one ne ba no ye nso ye mpene asem ne no anani na mema ye ntwi adwen enko ahaso o ye ntwi adwen enko Charlotte say so because amaleba ne nkrofo e kan say nyankopon ye omo adom na Ghana for de 2 minutes more kwan bi on be fa so say Maradona style kra na omeye enti no na ekoso no enti yenka no kan kire Ghana for no
yes Charlotte say Jane Benson
no say o say what's ni nyina sha say free the removal of Charlotte
say yeah
and omo kato ho say omo
so mo bada say Ghana for mo mutumi a kwan bi on be fa so bia no be fa so
omo betime yi omo
enti no ade na ekoso no eye nura asem
okay
enti say wo kodwin say wo ye na asem a enye na asem enti no media minority no that work out no hwe mami nka bebe kire bibi MPP won mistake bi MPP ye 1992
Aden. Omanko parliament.
Omanko parliament no. Oni MPP mpanyinfoɔ tena ase. Na oni omo di nkɔmɔ a omo se saa de no ɛyɛ mfumso kɛseɛ. Na nka ɛsɛ omo kɔ.
Ɛno so boycott ya.
Enti no mo fie bibi free 1992 no mo. Na bibi kakra we ɛyɛ Ghana adwuma na yɛyɛ. Ɛnyɛ afenyo markets adwuma na wɔyɛ. Anka ne so nkɔkɔ wini ba anka opa bibi obetu ayɛ wɔ ne ade. We yɛ Ghana adwuma. Enti no hwɛ wini ba fo no ni wa betena hɔ no. Sɛ kɔyɛ adwuma ma ɔmo. Menka so we no asɛm na esi yɛ ne ntimi so me fa sa ebufuo no sorry. Eba no sampo an yɛma bi nkitikiti wɔn kra yɛ hu. Anti papa o one new opportunities
98.9.
How many times when opportunities I could be Supreme Court judge asem. Enti e no kra na ye anka da papa anka ene afenyo markings in nkrofo we mutumi hye dem areas say ye kwa yem bisa ne say odi obisa kra se chairman twa no kra na anya ba wie Ghana for media for apik so ebia minority for kra bisa question we na question kra bisa no kra ye yia no ebetu a topic e wo outside
George Medase hu me so na me kɔ fifi ho na me busa ne sɛ na disputed nominee free him fa
Bibi make sure it for you na
obi ajo so
make sure Dr. Mahmoud ba mu anso obo adwuma
hu so ɔte yi mu ferry mu
yeah obo adwuma
nya kra nka no ye ne special aid
sa fifi
Dr. Baumia
Unyanka fifi and special
yeah fifi and special aid anka adwuma no ko yie pa
adwuma so nyanko be ni
aka fifi be ni
afu pese chese eso so ade bi aso ne so
o se sa unu e wo mo ani nya o nanka
Who treat him here?
o when it detail
Charlie Bibi me only say ye nuanum yi omo bo mutimu po se ne na Africa no before ebe to aba no e na omo kan say omo ba in fact president nankasa kan say obe reset judiciary no first and foremost omo yi chief justice nefi ho na omo appoint NDC judges onto the panel true to their words no omaye because obekaya nanka one of the charges the boss CJ ni say or the nkrofo bi eba beka Supreme Court judges ho na obepake Supreme Court because nipa ne do so do patro kam na nipa say na odi omoba
enye se odi omoba
or
recommend say vacancy ba ho na president per se or appoint here
say nipa we
5 they were 5
one by him no appoint aka ho
MZ7
oti ase intino omo mayeti ase somebody appoint NDC judges
but the argument of those against Adian say it cannot come from the chief justice or recommend it in call for promotion to the Supreme Court because almost say unprecedented.
That's what happens all the time.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's what happens all the time.
It's a prerogative of the president.
No, the president doesn't work with the judges. Into the dini beko, the dini kwa na president no. Either say obey agree and I so agree. Into no true to their words no. Sa no maye. Chief Justice Oma Pamuni. Yaka first and foremost. Constitution say determine the prima facie case. I don't care say you who say as dear way are we ye ninti any ebo kwedu. Mami ko jina ekuye nim obise yan kanche no. Oti ase. Afenso no okandini a odikuo nanim no committee net na ase so investigating no. One of the complainants Osaye Nipano witness. And so still President San appointing is on Santana committee ni so na onhwe na yeyi maame.
What a bang.
Chese ye ti hwa nei yeyi maame ni because one we transfer staff from one court or from one region to the another. Two, we took kwan e de per diem ekọ or the ni kunu ene ne ba etukwan enti ye yi no ye say stated misbehavior
was spend on minor sika ewo
nebusu afọ so enti ye yi no
wa transfer nko for ewo mekwa
edi papa akopɛ IT
in the opinion of omo de asem no ko eno amfa mra kwan so
to say BP, who are hey, we were happy studio. Now, Ochna, or boss full say, a pamwa da benya away. Onya the best from you into morning show. Sabi, only one number, you draw internacy. No one decided sadi.
Oh, only a job of a home, make crowd will be involved.
Who will you be involved now?
Yeah.
Does he have to involve another group of people to say he's bringing you here?
Yes.
Okay, even though he's the head.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Intino Sanyama way in AC. Mamia court, various courts. The time of court, almost say assem now or more cano is supposed to be in camera.
Yeah.
And internet judges need to in the crowd. They say there, Abrayu Pumaquem. Or more we case it was a court view. Didn't hear pending. In the minds of the minority, no. Once a case near pending, then come on train. Then it's not case in soon we. It's not case in soon we near say ampa. Mameno, Pamane say Pamona, no problem. But it's not we near say oh ampa. Prima facie your mind determined. Nipe or take committee to cry and can sort naso because our interest in the case. Because oh yeah will be witness na just say nipa no anyway can na sum sem ama wadia to so na chief justice here no say na mefa was 98.9 na say nipa na tena so enti om decide be nyina court ama amenity we or train say court be frɛ na wakwaku was court so I matise so matena once or twice bi no so ho enti nka mon train na nka papa acting minim anything different well maybe some powers are beyond acting. But one can acting there, Nanka. Minority folks say, come on acting in that position, Nanka. No more yelling, no, echo through Yena. Yes, you, you are. Then we go. Because my minister challenge say, constitution, adiom the as a Supreme Court judge, not as a judge.
As a Supreme Court.
No, as a CJ, as a Chief Justice, not as a Supreme Court judge. Even though you as a Supreme Court judge, you not feel okay, so we as a judge. Because Sabi, also quote unquote, well, be up somebody who's superior. But what happens is that say you as a CJR, now that's a judge, AB go wait me then, ankasa for retirement. Na okakra wa ye wo hono ja onsaka. But me ka say e twa ni nyina mu. Ma me say so many years away adwuma ni nyina ayekwa. Oti ase. Intino minority aka sa asem we ewo parliament. Aka che speaker. Speaker said there be still amonko. Omudu ho so maka ba omu ye so mbe kan bia na majority leader sorry. Na omo kasa. But me sure say acting CJ nankasa oti adwam no onyanyanka onya
the full complement of
the appointment committee because e been see that
when in BB before you ever started conversation.
Yeah.
The acting CJ was talking and he was responding to a question.
Yeah.
Happy FM.
Now answer now all man. Mitia and I'm say meaning how the majority leader and the chairman of the committee will feel
about it. Yes.
Because he was talking about judges who be want a background, who be want a training, no will be want an orientation. Osusu says sad differences no ebwama decision making dimu. Na ono di ankobeya ye encourage you obia no ntimi nkyere na adwene nka na adwene even though you may disagree. And that took me back to the beginning of
the whole thing. Say, person we no come asem. Say, they didn't even. It's not. After now, I can say, I didn't agree with you. Because,
why not?
Because Nipano, at some person can manenka. And I said on my starty, and young mama say, minority needs sorry. So be a question. Cry,
so be it.
Oh, now home fast what they say.
And let the public judge
that. Oh, fast what they say.
But you made a point, say. A prima facie case was not established.
Yes.
So utie minority leader ne preliminary statement na no ye na. He made a point. Na or narrative background no. He made a point say a prima facie case was established.
Minority leader.
Yes.
Yes. And went in.
Oh how?
What's your mark up to now? CJ is still waiting to say it's because of this. into the EU. It's not there.
So
when it's established,
when
it's established, it's supposed to be contained in a letter from the president. I don't know. Ko bisaya yan kanchre
Into mudi asembeng.
Oh, I'm surprised you're hearing the question. I'm surprised you're hearing this for the first time.
I'm not hearing this for the first time, but I've always asked the same question whenever it comes up.
When she did her press conference, that was the reason why she did her press conference. Say, Adichi and the Krofwaba. Now, South Africa nearby the 98. Because in Yama, any
Amaleba here.
And Yama, any way, Nimuno. Sani Yamano, or why any about staff Biaba. Say we or baby sa question. You know, they were just bringing things from all angles. No, Bisa said, what are we working with? Let me know the primary factor so that I can prepare
a response or a defense.
Because Enonanka president letter no tro no. Enonanka so president tro. Say adie wenti and EU. But President Trump crofo you know kwadu ya di body nyina na trauma no but one tro prima facie ni wo
na kwadu na nya no ne prima facie
no and they say kwadu no awabo no nti say president say ade we yakɔhwe mu no yampa sika na odiko you know holiday no na nkedi say odiko because of article say ni chere say ade no ya wrong nti because of enunti no stated misbehavior nti enyi but ono there Niama na nkrofo de kona no sande man back. What you say? Because constitution is to say ya de sande man ne ba mawa. O president no oni nkrofo bi betina se. Na mo determine a na mo de no atro no say because of that it committee ni ho. What you say? They never came. Intino minority did try say omoma obia adwena koso say this is what is happening but they don't allow them until in the long run they had to work out because senior afenyo kind they were really poised on coming to ask questions say this but at the end of the day it didn't happen so
Amaliba
bibi unse enko focus na mada ti peso bia so da na so me kama asem
na wada
na mada.
Is that common no funny serious?
No, yes, I'm funny serious.
I don't know anything common one.
That's what happened in 98. 7% me how
and yes, I don't die.
I mean, chill no more, Hannah.
I know what Nana so be teacher and ask you.
And here before. I mean, chill, mini for Nipenia.
Nipenia would be.
I'm born in the month for him. Friend Fifi Deka. Oyinko yawa. Hey. Was in fact, you see, Bibi. Let us be serious as a country. Now, your democratic journey as a minor, se be kon anymore. MPP as a political party was say a discarding a crowd free minimum.
Oh, are they? Unji democracy.
They're not serious people. Democracy doesn't give you the impetus to conduct yourself anyhow, simply because you're a minority leader.
What is anyhow?
In any case, I'll come to the substantive matter, but Fifi Deka say, Gertrude Araba Saki Tokunu Mrs. Ekro Krata Koma Mampini Kufuado say, Wono Gertrude. Or judge for Numbia. So Mampini person your appointment, but recommended one more dear Mamma Mampini so appoint to him. Nekwansuan, one man Sambrano. One a chair in Sambrano. What is your authority? Because the Constitution is very clear on this matter. O per se, or Mampini per se, or appointed. Indeed, the president is the appointing authority. He does the appointment in the case of the chief of the justice of the Superior Court. He does it in consultation with the Judicial Council. But the Chief Justice there, he does it with the Council of State, which is the advisory body to the president. And the Chief Justice Ruben Oplewa. A dear Ben Arabasaki took on Nimani Nimti.
And you're only the head of the Judicial Council.
Oh, and the Constitution is silent on her involvement. Either the Judicial Council or the
Council of State.
The Council of State. If the framers in their wisdom wanted the Constitution to involve the Chief Justice,
now, Chief Justice, and you're only the head of the Judicial Council.
That notwithstanding, she have no role when it comes to consideration of appointment to the Superior Court of Judicature, in this case, the Supreme Court or the Appeals Court or the High Court. Only any rubia into Koya signing and so on, which is a lie. You see, Ebio was say, just Arabasa Kitoko Bonia, Yedia Borden and say, what the bush of 4 to 20 young Pamano.
And yes, so much to quiet. I was spending on my
one account of the children. In her own response, I think to the clerk, if I'm right, or can I say, I opted, on one way, I opted to use my official traveling privileges for a private travel. Is that right? Bibi?
Me too.
That's a Global Media Alliance, right?
Yeah.
The host of afternoon show.
Sharp.
Bibi, or the host of the show. That is the office.
Yeah. And you did a show.
And you did the show, or the host of the show. That means at a given point in time, any occupant of the show is entitled to 1 week official travel to Dubai. Now, someone to Sakwana, you either go, when you go on official travels, you do so with a bodyguard. And Media Alliance, Global Media Alliance, you better try a car and a bodyguard what they call, because it's an official assignment. Now, mom, so we call on that trip now, you better try a car, maybe 50,000 Ghana cedis for your in and out. That is expenses for your travels from Kwan. Maybe you are entitled to 75% of that 50,000 as your personal expenses for that trip, as your per diem. Now, mom, so call a travels there. Then you are entitled to 10%. Okay? 10% of that 50,000 or second amount. On your travel, you are entitled to 10%. But official travel, yeah. 50% out of 50,000 Ghana cedis for the trip, and then 75% of 50,000 for per diem. These are the terms for that office. Now, Bibi, who took on your private travels? I will say I opted
to use
your official travels for your private travel, having to break the rules. No, you might not having to break the rules.
Send you what kind of ideas? Na send
but this was the admission. This was the admission made by the Chief Justice herself. What ne kun ne ba aka ho to kwa magana tuomoka. Ejuma be no mo yema oman no. Are they officers of the state? Yemfa ho no nto.
The last time President Mahama traveled out of this country was on an official trip.
You see,
he went with his wife.
Oh,
with the state pen on them.
A president now. That is a different office. We will come to
71.
Article 71. That is
Speaker of Parliament. Okay. The Mamini President
Speaker.
Mamini President Tunche. Speaker call. I think it's the last 2 weeks. So committee been on here. It's all broker peace or Ukraine there. With two kind and saying in his official capacity. To an yere kwa. When an ebetua obefa expenses ni nyina. Aduane na yere bedi hotel ombeda.
There are rules associated with the functions of this office. Right? In this case, obofon de nam egu apaso. And only yesi ni kususi ya. We shouldn't mess the issues.
But obofo no, there were other bofo mo so ko nam sa.
Very well.
And then the here's the way we treat you nam na okasa we na dey go.
At the instance, in fact, there have not been any issue relating to. You see, I don't want to surmise. When it comes to the president and then the travels, the Speaker of Parliament and then the travel, and indeed the Vice President and then the travels, I haven't seen the conditions governing those offices, right? But this one, we are dealing with an officer of the state. Na someone about one kasa admit say, which is indeed an at variance, which is at variance to the term of the office. You see, the Chief Justice did something very dangerous. So who tie the lead petitioner in this matter? Mr. Ofuria, who is one of the highest investors in Ghana Stock Exchange. In his petition, he alleged that in the case between one and the Barclays Bank, am I right? Is it Barclays Bank?
Ecobank.
Sorry, Ecobank. The Chief Justice then was trying to push the case to get a certain outcome. Or a Chief Justice, not Chief Injustice. And Article 125 of the Constitution, what does it say? Justice emanates from the people. I listened to Teddy Osori, and he contended, said, if justice emanates from the people, then the very people should be allowed to determine the office, to determine the fate of the officers who dispenses justice on their behalf. And so, therefore, the composition of that office and Article 149, in his candid opinion, should not include lawyers in order not to subvert the process. Into ordinary dream, committee ebete under Article 149 of the Constitution. Ni kwan say a lawyer for ebe frame. There be omon chia and some nani. In any case or in any event, Bibi, let this place on record. Say a newman course nyina no. Encrophobia I describe young Encrophobia lawyer noche. The historian and the lawyer. I read metie no e wo GTV. Or say your constitution is a Napoleonic constitution. Unim the patch military constitution in nature. Because it was a military government in a transition nearby democracy. And they crafted a constitution within that period. Though feel the same, constitution equita some features that need to be looked at. Oman penny that akufo. Ya wano has been a lawyer, astute lawyer, he did nothing about it. He used the same constitution and left office. Must by or try a constitutional review commission, but eventually he passed away and left it. And President Mahama so be 12 the midway. Nana Kufuor our lawyer so be transferred no. In fact, Nana Kufuor proposed the constitution in its current form must not be touched. That is on one position on the constitution. I had the same constitution na unwinning MPP 2 terms or provided 2 president amaomo for 16 solid years. Article 149 they never attacked it. Can any of them, including me, near penny Fideka or Tehei, bet me can say President Mahama breach any rule and can they say so? And in the case of the Fiamme Paul versus Attorney General, the Supreme Court have made a pronouncement say, as how do you call it? So assembly the court does not have authority to injunct the other arms of government from performing the constitutional obligations so far as the law allows it.
I see what you're saying.
I said Judge Pachen say anti-constitution or the court who can say or the tabuno be able to a bankrabata cannot be the executive or the parliament or the legislature. Abraham Omoyuma court tabuno be then to the court have the right to do their work independently. Momo say Justice Arabasa Kitokonu after the how do you call it? The committee under Article 149 ayo modwuma wie ene mo no die akoma mampeni no mampeni agents ha no die so yi na fi wa wie no mo so mam dey asem akọ court bibi there are 2 clear differences here. Filing a process in court, okay, is different from a decision made by the court.
Yeah. In fact, there is no injunction.
Yeah. The question is, what directive in the court now you be working with?
Yeah.
What directive be naba?
And it is not as if say minority funi be a court.
Exactly.
Seeking an injunction or seeking an injunction from Parliament.
And in fact, Obian court in Koyasa, every so filing process in the crown court, and you find determination and by that cannot constitute, how do you call it, a legal, a prohibitory act. If the so-called authority upon which that directive then the process you file against and for me, I dear minority here Omo file processes initially at the Parliament House last week in seeking inform Afayoma can follow that motion. Say odo tabono beto Parliament so omuntimi enye sa vetting na ebe course making reference to process ya file court. Ya court no eya for termination bi den. MI. Now, ode sa motion no Speaker Ebogui.
Yeah.
Citing the same grounds court no I can before. In this assembly, you are debating on the floor by virtue of own standing order thing 1227 or so of the standing orders. When we and also are debating issues last week. You are born a poor we and then Chief Justice nominee ebetra hona ye be shedwumadi na sia. Afeyo marking asa ko share asie biom and or refer back to a nyoma omudi ho abobo ne no baba ye ewo pal emase be fi ho chema ho adi hu abobo speaker edna no die abawie no afa no no wakurchi ensem no asa package ne foforo ayese wakoto wa chi ne de gu pack mu ama no wa ye free pack ne mu de gu ahaban ede ro ba chichere ho bibi ye bi won ye wa chi kro da good enti entra ho ne yenhwe wonim simply because you want to waste. You see, the minority no, but
what is wrong with tolerating opinions?
Bibi, it's not about tolerating opinions. In Parliament, Adi Omoyebian is governed by the rules of the House and the Constitution. As Honorable Mahama Yaraga, the majority leader, Ebusa, no, preliminary comment or remarks, where is the standing orders or any part of the rules governing Parliament? Yeah, a man to me so wait to make
and you heard the deputy minority.
It is conventions.
You also heard the deputy minority chief whip ask the same question to Mahama Yarega. Say almost several practices for parliament are inimrem.
Any standing orders.
Any standing orders. But as a matter of practice, they do. Into conventions. If you want to run that
convention, but for me, Bibi, I think that the MPP wanted to waste time because they have no interest in the new man so they wanted to waste time.
And your side helped them waste time.
Oh yes, side they
because
help. But for me,
okay, maybe it's a contention of the majority say side issues now minority leader ni reasoning no issues are parliament are dealing with a the forum or the raises issues no appropriate and all of that. But clearly the minority leader was ready to go ahead. But utia seven so issues bia or no apenyo can raising issues for the same political arguments on my what is wrong with allowing them to exhaust our 2 pages now no kind of now majority leader taking the opportunity to set the record straight and we back on the streets. Obey na some okay in Ayawa. You still have the opportunity to do so.
There are certain that you don't. Parliament is the sacrosanct institution of our democratic
is that not that same parliament? The minority will always have their say, and the majority will have their way.
Be that as it may, be that as it may.
So let them have their
say. You do not allow people to impugn negative intentions on people, especially where some Crawford will not have that same platform
opportunity to defend
themselves. But you can't say what can't follow. And Afeyomakin demonstrated a clear and penchant attitude. Taiwan, I'll keep it time. That penchant attitude to malign other people. Oh, in fact, he is nothing more than, a content creator who always wants attention. Who create content in the year. I feel like what on him. Whether they sat in or not, the Chief Justice nominee, the veteran Ekoso, the veteran we, the Saba Parliament, the Beginatum, because Ghana for Ejitum say, NDC, and Bamba reset to a minor.
Okay.
Now reset agenda, and one you go so a reset. Whether they like it or yes, they better reset Ghana because we are building a nation, we are not building a political party.
May I say,
do what Ghanaians want us to do.
Haruna Maleban watching Kano. I found Kojumedi be so in the first week of December, the 3rd to the 5th of December. Ebeba so ewo Prempe Assembly Hall ewo Kumase eno ene the Ghana Herbal Conference, the first of its kind. Our roots are remedy. Ni nyina ne sen ye to nsa frɛ mu amonije ehaba nuru ho na amonije eyeye nananamo tete kwan ne efa so de sayade mo mu gidie nti ena moni da so gye ho yesi se woni gye ho na eyade a woye bia na pese osua ho adwuma ana pese ote se de industry ne adwuma bra ne nyina ye hia ewo Ghana Herbal Conference dwumedie na se theme at that conference is so a harmony in herbalism, balancing tradition and innovation. Bra never experience near friend of high level herbal demonstrations. Na ubehunu kofo ka haban ni bomu de ye niema wo hwa mo hunu bi. There will be exhibitions of herbal products ahodo and afei so engaging discussions in komodie efa herbal medicine ho and top practitioners, researchers and regulators. Conference where proudly partnered by the Ministry of Health, Food and Drugs Authority, Ghana Federation of Traditional Medicine Practitioners, Association GAFTRAM, and at the Center for Plant Medicine Research. With me, I register no a part of this upcoming conference. Our one website www.ghanaherbalconference.com. And also over 020-2222-095. Now they are registered. Kaise registration is free. Yen yo way. So pese obe exhibit or herbal products so jumedie na sia. Obe fa number eno afre 020-2222-095. Na odia bookie will stand. Obe timia follow jumedie on social media platforms ahodo nyina so at GMA Herbal Conference on all social media platforms. Ghana Herbal Conference, our roots, our remedy. George, now call your name Kokon Kitinkiti Kabu Mami.
That's baby. Mami fa now call your dear no in Shasi.
Yes, Galamsey. So no
yeah. You see, field fight. Baby, assembly see no.
Yeah.
Baby, what you can say me busu for about 65%.
Etiho, okay.
And see, Dana assembly see no. Baby, me credit nyina sign.
Fresa.
Na me free. Because a 30 minutes drive to my hometown.
Ah, okay.
And to be bushing a phone, the honor motipa. And to Bramati says you'll be one. In fact, now the report keeps coming in. And you can hear the background. Achamoko two way. Like, and see, my friend, because now.
We am show. So we wish for who the bit man can be.
So, now, Yamin Chadi, ye election 11 months in it. Now, ye babeti, I see BB science. And then they see war. Then pa ne see war. Na security phone so na then ejuma pa na no moye war. Bibi, sa same way and say see how ya o.
Debi.
Say we bia.
I feel quite no say
Interior Minister at the Ama committee for na koyo muhwehwe mu the report aba. And as usual, na report no e dey akope chefs na e dey ato.
In fact, Minister no on Ewutu Senya East or say the investigation is not done. I had more to us because in 76
sa some na e see what that constituent e say ye hwehwe mu a.
Obi do we.
Yes.
We lost one life. One Idris.
Ehu e betos nkrofo no so wo ho no na nya ho kito. Enti ene se hwehwemu aba ne hu so niam bebre wo ho ayete ye e wo mframa mu na nya no kware a. Bibi obia ne ho asem bia no eso be yi na no.
Ekwa men na sa brante ne fa so wo ye.
Because obi di hie e na ewu no. Eye den a ebusuafo na hwere obi. Enti ese yetumbe ka kire Ghana fo so kwan we so na brante ne fa so e den. Ewu ye. Na ne ese state no so ye bia no omo aye den. Omo aye. By say we bia ye ba be ka no na enu nansa na sa asem we etu atwade a da bi. Tachimandi esi ye kra no still kra no me njintu mu. The way I report no by say then yama compensation we ni ade. Bibi, owo ne ye kan ho asem no.
Ye be ma compensation.
Ye be ma compensation. na kaswa de so ayeden aba be kan ho 2028 just around the corner na de bia ye ba betiti sansem we ense se ye call election ma obi wu bibi me see ense se ye call election ma obi wu me pe bibi obi se me pa maliba enti na se ni pe wu no enti no Minister of Interior onabo muntaka sa asem we de ese ye hwehwe mu a na ye dom soko na obi bia ne ho wa asem bia oye force alarm bia no ese ne gina mra na nim na chine bi ya obi gina ho kofi bi gina ho say eh asem we see wo handa no on the way I see enti mi so nkonko yesa na so bi kura suma wo say ko ka asem a enim a obehwe nia esi our friends our kumsin ni constituency ho no aka kire oni pa ne say eh ebre bi asem si wa ha no nipa omo yesa no ye twiomo aso enti mi nkonko ye anye sa 2028 just around the corner ye be ye sa de na de bia election ni pe wo le bia election de bi bibi ense say isi say biu enti no ho ne de mesre ona bo muntaka say omo nkoso a na mo anhwemu no enye nia enwe peye afei galamsey isi bibi bibi wo Ghana onu say area bi wo ho a so ko catch police force o ya bomi wo obeka say eh hade e no go area me nko na so wetu akwa chi nipa na abade a na be de ne betina oman mu ni aka say oh this area dey no go area ebe de ne betina oman ma eh hade hwe yentumi nko hade yentumi nko omunya part of Ghana na ede na so bi ko ya ade wo asalam dan de tumi ko che no na obi tumi ko ade wo asalam dan echi odi ayen tumi ko che no enti ne president aka no memefo ano so wasman crofo say yenkudi djuma na se community no ebeto mo ho abu san crofo ne de a ene small mo no na fa so be na e wo so ena da no last week me ka che wo say na se ni riti fio na ne kunu ko na se okobu no ka se me kunu ene we petu kra se we yare enti se president aka say sa nkrofo na ya attack yomo no obi obeye se bia no because state no to me then na community kakre bi to me je say omudi violent eba baby a state no be kan omwanu atomu no and you're right bibi and you're right ana Ghana hanso Ghana hanyina na yetu galamsey yewo baby yetu galamsey enti no se yesuma nkrofo nso munko onkodi omudwuma na enye nkrofo no pe na mo aban na eden Ghana aban na asmo mo na ombeko ho ni ahwe omode a oh bibi ene aban no otumi say sankrofo no say eden echi omo
na so far beyond the talk what hunu science be che say ampa ye betu saw communities omo bu soldier for the police for I mean there's been a move police for MPA or Esutifi North Oma prosecuting no.
Oma inviting no match no.
Well, Oma prosecuting no. Oma prosecuting no and Omo amane bail with even some restrictions near Hunkroneba. Is it enough action ebema o GDA say near president ko kan o GDA program ya say ampa obitu ho na mo ana.
Good. Enti no ne ebema memanya GDA ne say say yesuma nkrofo no say monko na community no mu rure mu no mrantifo no stop omo ebu omo a afi ni president kan no mi hwe se ebeye adwuma na se president suma asrafo se monko ho na sa community no mu deal with them a ho na me babanya gidie okay basa bibi sa NCD a na be se kasa keke na de bia ye kan ba ni president aka no so de be di dwuma be di se nkrofo no ko community bi na se kobu omo na se president no e ma nkrofo ko ho e ko take action na next time other community no mu nye sa enti when dey say nye kasa e se president no hu say nkrofo no masomo mo enti wona o kwa koye adwuma mo no se be attack omo de a ene e se mi so ma me hu so but se action bi a nkoso de a ene na de bi ana kwa se wa betena ha akangalamse asem so no na action bi a eden okay enkoso nkukon kitinkitin bibi yesi nia owo akanda no ohun den
sonson ano
kwesi price dey say ohun macaroni kura kwesi price ohun macaroni kura no soro you see ye wo Ghana ha ne yete confirm asem ni ade I think say me ade ba ko ye me ya ne say die ntina Ghana ye wo baby to say Bono region Ashanti region when it comes to nkoko insem no yankasa yentumi nye na yekọ amanoni kra ayeden because Bono region betumi ayeden amma Ghana sani amanyina siesi ye hwemu aye ne ye a enti bi di se adepa na emom no kwan ye be fa so ya ye no me ene wo kano na many anje say like the stakeholders no say one poultry farmers no near them because sa adwumadie we dey eyomo adwuma oh debi oh you see
only poultry farmers na edin koma omo no be kire challenges e wo mu
so
na matimi ehunu niam mo be ya mo de be si anokwan but are you saying say for instance the ministry of agric lost on sa challenges in this animal? They have experts in poultry at the ministry, consultants or home meeting advising ministry. Here, any stakeholder engagement when they have all the experts to advise them.
You see, Bibi, sir, Edward Wilangasa, I say, like full departments, crowd agric ministry home. No, I say, engage some crofo when na. And you be say, oh, Ebia, you didn't see about the check. A whole project near here because project on the 12 you have launched there. And yeah, dear, a big project. And so, I say, on your officer, about coordinating Sadian, you know, and a dream beer, we be Obi why be that. And so, the so consultant, oh, Ebi, you may be number 70. Why you be that, and no, quite ben sooner, in Fanfaso. But 1 hour you be that, no, so you consult to Omo. Edman can ye bear wooding. Near a bear wooding. And so we did say across him a camera. Says Uncle Fossy and consult to moi. I think so we should go back to them. Na yenji more drink today.
But they are not the target. The target is not poultry farmers, large scale poultry farmers.
And no na ebema adwuma na ye hunu. Say see
backyard in Kukoye.
Say ye the party adwunu kra to ye ntirem say oh ye ya ma party a bibi adwuma no ebegu adwuma na enye yi. And to the end, say, where a Ghana for Juma ye deba. No one why ye be dano. Young common answer. Ombetira coin baku me no miensa. So, oh, ebi a young fan say, young fan say. And no never boa, but you could be in party for so, where the yama and party for, baby. One she ya, now quack dano the enemy.
Now quack confirm with 2 year in home a chill coin. Fee,
you are baby.
Well. But shall say if you had
me shall say if you have because I didn't the whole idea and say on food soldiers in your Juma 24-hour economy na say omuntimi kan ho asem na tonsuom. When was the last time I was say minister be na appointee be can 24-hour. So no see the job when during election time no. They say omon kan ho asem be because anye yi omunim say anye yi. E betra na make catch say untimi with the stroke of a pen. And I said through executive fiat, be say why establish 24-hour economy? Obi anya adwuma ma adenchi. No more running shift. It can't happen. Nemo no consistent economic activity. And the 24-hour economy beba. So of course circular. You be na kujina ho say munya adwuma 24 hours. But nipa wo krom so much say 10 bia mu ye adwuma. Omo mo ton koko ni niama wo afo mo hoyi. Ebi wo anadwo nyina wo ho because nipa wo ebeto. No man who said in your Jumano. Instead, I deal with the so poultry farmers not saying if you want to boost poultry production. You don't have to experiment with this kind of thing. What I say, poultry farmers now the ube summer saying I did hear mostly a feed any row. Go did yourself home to be told my dear. Now feed Omo cry nya grow. Nti eno na ese wo de store masin.
See ankoko ketin feed ben na de be mo.
Feed ben na de be mo.
Maybe you are not buying or plans for that.
Oh, start buying there. Apart from so be change your body aye be man no. Obetime bibia because of bottomless pit.
Say cry buying obetime nya 2 years son about to be man.
Yes.
By passing a law say transgender for no carry adwomo to.
And no crisis so much LGBT.
Our parliament.
Our parliament. You heard say nebekwe. Wow. Enu nti no senka saa na esa aban ye say ye be introduce ade ne dia so poultry farmers asin say na be ya importation of poultry products ye be jai na ye depending on locally made poultry. But we no ye pese ade wo de hu krofo e be ko constituency executives ne be chama with no experience in poultry farming. Ye komo mu training kakra bi ti say blue water guard for your 3 weeks or 2 weeks training. Yes, some cocoa galamzia, you remember how I any edume. Sabe pepe na we zombe, on be chichama or more appointees, no. Eh, omo members na, omo nya, eduma no. Ne dia mom, ya mo bia kakra say, oh, kojina konye. Bibi, I can tell you, say, Sadia no be ye no, enkusiaga. Because Sadia no, very delicate too. Madam will be able to answer.
Koyena form sir.
Mesi me ko ma me mbe ni coop ni kra. Say Charlie, wait me yare alcohol no. Gina baby kra na no kwa kosisa ni kosua na no de ba say oba obes gina nsuo bi mu awofo ni na hu nyina okwa the same different chese nya grow. We no mu na wo ba be form yi. Wo betimi akọ round akọ chese is a joke. Senka mo yese we select a few poultry farmers more
established.
Yes. Na omo no training crofo a omo betimi amom kakra. Na omo monitor omo. Ebia so omo se ye ni omo mu di hu komo yi. Yeah. Well, intino we no nyina na ye political gimmick bi keke. Ye piske bia na bibia ma ye followers amoma ye din na eja ni omo ye omo etimi aye. Galamsey fight no enkoso. Galamsey PR en ekoso. They talk about it, but they don't fight it. Because President Tankasa, the promises of mine, I'll fight it with AI, I'll do this, I'll go after the kingpins and their bank accounts, I'll do this, I'll do that. There's nothing different to MPP in so time I did more boy within 2 weeks you fight because MPP for near Galamsey.
President has sent a warning to communities about soldier for.
A chopper and your warning.
I don't know a chopper.
Not saying my warning.
Konyan is saying.
Oh, a warning dear massa. Say warning no soldier for DH3. No man who say when you break.
Uncle
Omo kobo kombe kokronim.
No mo edeng.
Oh, na say omo koreki. Omo kobo will say there's a way to put the fear of God in people.
A friend of psyops, psychological operations.
Yes, there's a way to do this thing. Say one kasa will share say that say no recently me who video bi so boase soldier for digina say. Ena youth ni sujina say. Na one guy be two more. Share say that mo catch ye. You go to a basin and we get one excavator war and one machine excavator. And hey, want to be giant name, I china. And this thing you can really go after this person and make him a scapegoat. Na ama man crofo buefu. But mo amunim say san crofo den na mo ni omko kasa wo pit say mo ntoman ye bebe mama ye adwuma. Eno ani asem no. In looking for power though, the kind of promises they gave these boys in the pit, so they can't go to them and look at them in the face and tell them, say, stop. Until they are not. And I'm warning the people who did this and if they mean well, except Kadiani see now that very up to now, no one squad a cook room more. Some question more yes, I did. Ufu say in our living memory, so you will call Ashama, I'm Yabonoda. ABC Biom says so Jenia kwa Ashama, a compare mouse or Quedena, boys we see a Chinabono. It will happen because they saw what happened when that thing happened. What's I say? Until you, President, if you mean well, you want to fight this Galamsey. Said you can chrome half for ye. Can say action.
At least Brony Chrome the chopper.
Yes.
Oko Hoover or
who said
deploy conformer.
Yes.
What your shoe will be a
who say yes man for Baha no more attack your man. This is what will happen. Now look, they have done it. What's I say? You crop we omo Kaseɛbɔ kwa. Omo or you say yes, journalists be cry ye buni name me no. And this thing never happened under MPP. Say Galam stop for cooperation. Na ye buomo. Ebi and see that. Operation Vanguard for ko baby. Was almost to toast you no moko. But now they are so emboldened, so only to be toe to toe. Hey, she see a team soldier ni minimum pa na
commander.
Oh, where my boy?
The whole kennel.
Yeah, team ni minimum pa. How?
And I'm saying we kennel the
What kind of fight is this? No, wabefie. Now utie the kasa. Me share statement be or say I was lucky.
Yeah.
He thank God so wabefie. A whole soldier. How? Since when?
Anyway, mommy.
Into the fight in the enkosu, PR in the enkosu, kasa na dosu. Omonya action on the ground because these boys are determined. Say they won't stop. Into this kasa de we ya enye ye. Omonya trap for the Into so man ni brave. Say Osman nkrofo ko operation no mo attack you ma. See them as enemy of the state. Treat them as such. You don't go and be talking issue statement in Accra and soldiers are there. Well, it's in no dear. Okay. And ya dear Befa. Last one.
Now call your quick one.
My main person say interior minister need intro. That's why issue statement we say one kasa. Bibi. And crop we dear.
And I can't say. Also one kasa.
Oh, crop we dear. We say, yang of the MPP stock there. Yaya Adrian say we'll give them time. We'll give time.
That's not what you're doing.
That's what we are doing. Now nobody be the idea of government in Ghana. In Nyama NDC for the year. Yeah, we are just giving them time. Because Yenim said in some of them and those things we are going back to hand them one by one. Share I said when True could try to have a kumsin so now share the video now Osu as if say she has been attacked. Osu video nim and no think could be books about kumsin. Just say, oh, we are. Kadena kwaye. Imagine, say, a bufu nation because of what you said against this woman. Now it happened there, and you know, great. And imagine, so called you come no we are. What trying to go to some you couldn't back. And they will say, instead of you to apologize, oh, maybe hit of the moment, maybe our boys, we can't have wrong information. Yeah, I mean, so, it was based on that. I also can't, sir, because you trusted in them. But
she couldn't have said that because
was it not to care?
Yes, she couldn't
I was in
have said that.
Mahindra. I was there in Mahindra, and they were shooting. They were shooting.
All right, I'm going to call Malibaho. Bra,
for
me.
You see, MPP for there. Omo ko baby a omo jai omo asem so there omo. Pessimistic, full of negative energy, perceptions, and bad wishes. We don't care about that. I mean, from free stroke, from back, I'm free from stroke. Now call your NA. How comes in? And say one Kosu Kasua. Tuareg. No, your NDC constituency secretary. How come he died? East he was a constituency secretary. Is it secretary or deputy organizer? But he was a constituency executive officer.
Which year is this?
Oh, I think was it? But it was within 2021, about 2024.
We are dealing with 2024 specifically.
But events are SEO Kaswa predated 2024.
Yeah, but the minister did a particular work.
So why did he took or decide to focus on a specific period?
As the president, on man in terms of reference.
I think that electoral violence in this country must never be countenanced. It must never be. Particularly under Kufuado. One of weaponized party no. Eya da je to nsafre at travel free na South Africa. So you be train a meme for ma no for mu you go to share court na what ya can just to kono asem mu to share painful judges so yankopon na jema me nko ka mo bo no ma ne point mu na moti hei una batan boni wo fia ma batitie ya. So they are the last people to speak on these matters. I will leave it there. Maybe.
Bro.
Ebani galamse. What's the galamse ayede?
What's the lose fight?
Yeah, lose fight. No. Yati. We don't expect him to grade us. The MPP should be a last party to grade NDC on the fight against illegal mining. Professor Frimpo Boateng and someone Obekai was said from the cleaner to the top. Nana Kufuor himself. Kokasa Konta mining. They were not doing illegal mining in Wonimri forest. You know the minister of the Bekansa Konta mining. Money licenses are more too good. Ewo Taronimri forest in sure more no. Nya omwa. Na won't me ti radio so gold no. Sabe na gold no ni free ni yam.
Also Kaseɛbɔ.
So assemble.
No, I'm asking the question.
Yeah, but
What kind
Kaseɛbɔ.
of good question is that?
Mami mfra sem ntoma. Aje gold na
pade no to ya fere be fare ntoma.
What's your woman?
No, o jare na free ni yam
Ah,
ana.
shey, na we so ko can see I say.
What we ba ki kasa wahala. Wo
Watch we cross it do.
na woni gogo asin kurase fo na to na tiafa so na ja.
So oba kroma che bra.
Ba gogo ase ba mkurase sabde kakra wo.
Ene poka.
Mate. Dia se bodam fo bodam kwa de be kakra ekwa de be hunu nkwala de ende wa woni tia. Bibi. Want me control radio so you gold. Ne philosophy ni say was mbrofo no say foreign reserve omo boa.
Happy FM.
Ope Ghana e be agudie wo pa e forest mo na gold no wo. Want me na kan. True or false? Omo peri boni chidom. Kere Japan. Obe kan say ban galamsey na Akufo Addo mampini at that time. Or say dua si ho eni hini. These are his words. Me na me kaya na. Party here sika proposal no mo tia bank sim. Omo plan no mo bo no. Professor Frimpo Boateng be kaya. Me na me kaya na. Eye no nko a abro ye abeka che yesem. Western region Samre boy no more presidential forest e wo ho. Hallelujah. Presidential forest. Mo ena mo share bibi. And yet only the enterprise mo kreti en nko
The time also.
the weaponization of that illicit enterprise.
Look what you are saying. Oh.
And then you are turn around to blame us. NDC, you are not fixing the mess you are creating faster. Bibi, me we plan. I'm a penny. I'm a directive. Another directive, no. It will work. Yanko treat you and see can afford team and bombing simply because there isn't illegal mining. But the law will apply against anybody who attack this group. On the case of Bibi, this is an individual household project. Individual household.
Any government project.
Individual household. Government initiative for individual household. So Bibi, you are entitled to go and take it. I am entitled. Everybody is entitled. Was it
It is a government project targeting individual households.
That's exactly what it means. Fine. Exactly what it means. So ban a large scale poultry farmers now. We also have that. We have that project for them too. So government have a support for them. Project, different from the poultry farmers.
Okay.
They have a different scale of project altogether. And so Tiano also
but I don't think say who for poultry farmers be guided project. And confirm the NBC.
Okwa dance groom so na ye nkoko ofie. Ni achi biton ya kumbebru ya bremware. And also ni poultry farmer. But I see we to me for say the tie nkoko na.
Abrofo nkoko nko na efie nkoko nko. Abrofo nkoko no me vulnerable pa. Yeah, the best mother Haruna Maleba and mother Fifi Dekan Swase, and another one will go to George Affo, General Secretary of GFP. Bidene Bestmark Brown, thanks to the team. Up next, happy news. Nusia Diano and Emrena Sono. Abena, ene eja, Brantia Bako, Slim Machu. News Mukom for Omobabe take you.